Ed's voice trembles with bitterness. The Academy's judgment is clear and merciless. It feels like removing me from the family is ridiculing my worth. The god of fate has spoken. Ed thanks Willing for everything, his voice filled with gratitude and resolve. SHH. Notice, that isn't he, Ed Rothsteller. He should be avoiding attention now. This isn't good, he should have stayed hidden. Isn't me. I entered a game. Save off our best game of the Sylvania, my favorite game. The failed swordsmen usually start here based in the magic school. Its fate hangs by a thread as he is branded a third-rate villain, his ambitions now in tatters. Ed Rothsteller's frustration is palpable as he accuses someone of timing and character judgment. He's saying it's unfair after living a frugal life without greed. He displays mediocre stats, surprising for a noble. Stat window opens, revealing Ed's stats. His willpower is decent, but his intellect and stamina are surprisingly low for a noble. No wonder he's a blur in my memories now. Even his original self was a third-rate trampy villain who appeared later on. He's reduced to nothing, even in his memories a blur. A third-rate trampy villain, barely alive on the streets. Why was it him? This body belongs to someone else. He won't let this be his ending. He's determined, no matter what. His resolve is clear. The Academy looms ahead, in unfamiliar territory for the ruffian. Ed walks, his mind racing with discernment and new surroundings. The Academy looms ahead, a stark contrast to his past. Ed continues his walk, the Academy's presence growing more prominent. He reflects on his expulsion, a mix of relief and uncertainty in his thoughts. Ed contemplates his future. The Academy looming ahead. His determination to use game knowledge for survival shines through. Despite the comfort of past life, he's ready to face what comes next. Ed's goal is clear, but the tuition fees loom large. He must survive this semester to keep his scholarship hopes alive. Ed contemplates his future, his stats window open, showing a narrow path ahead. He must survive this semester to secure his scholarship. Ed examines his dagger, considering it futile in his current predicament. He has no stats to boost its effectiveness. His focus shifts to his meager wardrobe, noting he can barely afford basic necessities. He seems relieved to find a way to survive, but the problem of food and shelter looms large. His current situation makes it hard to think about anything other than staying alive. 10 days until school starts. He needs to prepare, but the uncertainty lingers. It is fascinating that he can use spells, even if it leaves him winded. Very hungry, he mutters, the stat window flickering with low health and energy levels. At least feed me before you make me cut 15 tree trunks. Ed searches for sustenance, muttering about eating anything edible. Mountains seem to offer some relief as he exhales deeply. Oh, if you look closely, it's not chicken at all. Heaving deeply, Ed clutches his stomach, clearly in agony. Ed clutches his stomach, clearly in pain as he mutters, "Grandpa, I hate you." Ed struggles to raise the wooden frame, his voice strained as he repeats, "First, you need supports." Ed grunts with effort, sweat trickling down his brow as he struggles to keep the frame steady. The shelter's frame stands tall, a testament to Ed's perseverance. It's a choice, Ed thinks, rubbing his tired eyes. Way to go despite everything. He manages a small smile. Ed manages to finish the shelter, panting heavily and with a hint of pride in his voice. Non-rank design with novice craftsmanship, this shelter basic yet functional, is his latest creation. Oh, even so. Handiness is level 4 now, as is 2. So the crafting might be more talented with his hands than with magic. Ed lived his life as a noble, yet he's showing unexpected skills. He needs it. This handiness, the project has new potential. A tool for survival and magic alike. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it. He wants meat, igniting something primal within him. He must endure another week before returning to school, hoping to avoid notice. You are so engrossed in something. You nearly missed it. Now what? Ed stammers, surprised to see Willing here. He had no idea she would cross his path now. Please hold. Ed Rothsteller, this Academy won't let you slip away so easily. Thorny is still here, Ed Rothsteller. You haven't left the dorm since you were kicked out. As soon as you start acting like a villain, use your status as a noble. Hit them where it hurts. Sylvania's Fallia's swordsman. Philonia Elias Kloll, Sylvania Academy's third princess, adjusts her facade with malicious intent. Ed Rothstaller watches, knowing the game is far from over. Phionia's gaze sharpens, her facade unreadable. Ed shifts uncomfortably, aware of the scrutiny. Here, what are you doing out of the dorms, Ed Rothstaller? Everyone at the academy may hate Ed Rothstaller, but Phionia's insight had already exposed his faults. Ed pauses, trying to argue but finding no solid ground. Willain stands firm, her tone leaving no room for negotiation. Willain's gaze remains unwavering, her voice firm as she continues to press her argument. Ed stands resolute but knows his position is weak. Willain's voice carries weight, her words sharp as she presses Ed for an answer. Ed remains silent, his expression grim and resolute. Willain's voice rises, her tone leaving no room for argument as she declares Ed's fate. The announcement hangs heavy in the air. Willain's tone remains firm, leaving no doubt about her stance. Ed stands alone, his resolve unshaken. You will regret not having escorts, knowing that. Trying to thank Princess, your family's fame is renowned. She seems taken aback, clearly unprepared for this revelation. She dismisses his family, painting them as corrupt and inhumane. Ed feels a chill, knowing this could define him. Rather run it's executed. Disowned. However, I was rather cold and better than dying. We'll all be imprisoned or exiled. Not just you. She needs to convince Phonier like this, or face expulsion. No, it would be game over then. Princess Wartel here. Before the school starts right now should be about a week around when Ed Rothstaller is expelled. Quest means having to complete a class placement test. Professor Glass' test isn't for show. Professor Glass' test has shifted, challenging you to find hidden magic beads in the forest. Nobility like Princess Phonier seeks Class A status desperately. It's a test of both skill and luck. Class A is a lie. You right. As expected. I will never enter Academy to expel should request the heads up. Travelers, a treacherous isle lies southeast of here. Beware its perils. There stands a giant tree called Merrilder's Guardian Tree. It holds the key to Class A. That ruffian Ed Rothstaller is indeed a liar. His deceit from days past still haunts me. However, just now Ed Rothstaller has nothing left to hide. The class placement test has ended officially. Willain's voice carries weight as she pronounces the finality of the results. Magic Professor Willain has spoken, and beads are now in students' hands. The test will begin shortly. Magic beads are passed out. The test requires finding specific ones, but many lack power. Zix and Luctel discuss their findings. Their voice is low but urgent. You there found a hidden bead. It had unusually high magic power. This one. From the Guardian Tree of Merrilder. You shall be at the top of the class. It's a new creation. To use a spear. Princess Phonier's insight is unmatched, her skill unparalleled. Even flattery cannot blind those who see through pride. Information flows, but Princess Phonier's pride remains unshaken. The scenario shifts. What her influence over early failures won't save her now. Ed's expression hardens, reflecting his growing desperation. Willain's voice cuts through his thoughts with cold precision. Ed clenches his fists, realizing his standing in the academy is precarious. Willain's voice rings with finality. Lucy's words carry a heavy weight, hinting at unseen truths yet to unfold. Truth be told, insight will always reveal the golden bead of reality. Ed Rothstaller's words carry weight, hinting at unseen truths. Why did Princess Phonier hide her identity? Her reasons remain unclear for now. Taking that bead despite knowing the test results, she would receive something she didn't expect in the future, no matter the effort put into finding it on her own. Ed's title doesn't matter to her, only his actions. Even if Ed Rothstaller is expelled, the truth will out. Willain doesn't care about his title, only his actions matter. However, Ed Rothstaller did not lie. It was evident on his face. He believed he could enter Class A and succeed in the test. Willain would judge him by his actions, confident that truth would prevail. Ed Rothstaller's determination shines through, but the princess is watching closely. The princess's stern gaze intensifies, setting an unspoken challenge. Ot 1. Ed Rothstaller's confidence is unshaken, despite the odds. Ed Rothstaller's morning routine seems more challenging than usual. Tensions rise as preparations continue, the clock ticking louder in the background. Tensions mount as Ed and his allies finalize their strategy for the impending conflict. The Academy's dolls loom ahead, a reminder of the challenges to come. The Academy's opening ceremony approaches, and preparations are underway. Wayne ensures students are ready for the day ahead. He had survived, yet does he really have a chance at victory? How did he manage to earn such a sweet reward? Just look, it's Ed Rothstaller, come to the opening ceremony. The goal is graduation. Ed Rothstaller has shown remarkable ambitions. His manner during the ceremony stands out. Clara suggests they go eat. Her suggestion sounds strange given recent events. He feels something is about to happen, but he doesn't know what. Today marks the beginning of classes at Sylvania Academy, a new chapter for all students. However, society and to see it's a new improved form of the work that Sylvania academic semester has done by. Dean Rothstaller, visibly agitated, listens to his son's plea for leniency. Ed stands before the dean, his expression a mix of desperation and calm. The dean's smile seems forced as he continues to speak. Ed and the dean exchange a tense glance, both aware of the gravity of the situation. The text on the screen details Ed's life skills and bow proficiency, noting his training in both combat and magic. Ed considers the arrows, his bow proficiency blending with magical formulas to create high-quality ammunition. He knows this combination will give him an edge in upcoming confrontations. Formulas are outside Ed contemplates, knowing their power is yet to be unleashed. Ed looks contemplative, his eyes fixed on a distant point as he mulls over something significant. Iniker and Ed exchange playful banter, their voices filled with amusement. Failover talked as you did. You can call me that too. Ed looks taken aback, clearly not expecting company. Willin seems amused by his surprise. Ed seems caught off guard by Merelder's unexpected visit, his surprise evident in his expression. Merelder's comment about being a visitor with a high-ranking spirit hints at her importance and perhaps some ulterior motive. Merelder's visit, unexpected and perhaps unwanted, seems to come with a purpose. Ed tries to downplay it with a casual remark about forest life. Ed chuckles. Heart. Merelder doesn't get bothered by something like that. Haha, right. Show you something unexpected. Merelder wants to. He signed a contract with him yesterday. As soon as he saw him, she hesitates, breath caught in her throat. He presses on, unaware of her struggle. She nods firmly, determination in her gaze as she heads towards the exit. Danica Failover holds a significant informational advantage, someone must never get close to. Is someone Ed must keep at a distance, or is it himself he warns? I guess even the huge wild beasts have their hearts. Fascinating guy, Merelder. He's a really interesting fellow, just as you said. Fascinating guy, Merelder. He's a really interesting fellow, just as you said. Also, see you who is he, no matter how much I think about him. But he stands firm in his answers. Tease, well, it's not like we'll see each other again. We won't see each other often from now on. She calculates the distance. Her brow furrows as she considers it carefully. Right, the journey from dawn until now barely covers a fraction of what lies ahead. That increase in stats is remarkable. Diligent commuting truly pays off. Tomorrow morning, Ed prepares meticulously for the journey ahead. He lists items needed for his commute, ensuring every detail is accounted for. He sighs, clearly worn out. She tilts her head, curiosity piqued. Ed's voice trembles as he stammers out his questions, clearly taken aback by Villain's knowledge. Villain merely raises an eyebrow, her expression unreadable. Ed's voice quivers, his eyes wide with shock and disbelief. Villain's calm response only heightens the tension around them. Ed hesitates, his resolve wavering. Villain watches him closely, her expression unwavering. But regardless, she remains unfazed. The outside may fool you, She's shrewder than her appearance suggests. Because of Janica Failover's smile, Ed Rothdaler knows trouble is brewing. She's the only one who smiles. Ed thinks grimly. A scoundrel asks for a favor. Ed's family name brings no favor now. As you, Ed Rothdaler, stand before Willing, your family name means little now. Can you spare some money in a pinch? For a bit. How much do you mean, exactly? Borrowing it isn't just a matter of top-of-the-class graduation funds. Every year, Janica struggles. Can you spare some money in a pinch? Janica hesitates, her gaze shifting nervously. Ed's desperation is palpable, yet she remains silent. Janica sighs, her resolve wavering. Ed's plea for help is desperate but unspoken. Janica hesitates, Ed's plea for help tugging at her resolve. Original texts. Professor Grimoire delivers a sharp rebuke, her tone unyielding. Ed stammers, his voice trembling. The class murmurs, eyes wide with shock and curiosity. Professor Grimoire's tone is firm but leaves no room for misunderstanding. Lucy Merrill snores softly, disturbing the quiet of the mountain hall. She snores softly, disturbing the quiet of the mountain hall. Why is she sleeping here? Not too big as a house, that wolf over there. Which is as... Ed looks at Willing, who is sleeping soundly. Someday, he'll ask her why she's here. Save costs. Editing involves more than just color and background work. Originality matters too. Let's get to work, tilted the camp for 2 days. Lucy had only been at Achilles Hall a short time, yet she was already diving into preparations. Thought that was how complacent of a mind. Quest, preparation, must be thorough. Students engage in joint combat training, using fake weapons to minimize lethality as much as possible. Lorette, the golden daughter and spirit sorceress, stands resolute, her gaze firm as she addresses the gathered students. Wicked's mocking tone cuts through the air, challenging their resolve. Phinia and Janica listen intently, preparing for the upcoming confrontation. Even so, the list of important figures Ed must face seems endless. His resolve remains unshaken. Is Taylor's match next? The tension hangs heavy in the air. Ed's fate hangs in the balance as he faces off against his rivals. The outcome of these duels will determine his future. Hey, second-year student here, looking to make some extra cash. Janica Failover is running all this, exactly for the experience of seeing me ask her out after going through the pathetically easy duels in the joint combat training episode where we are. Is Janica Failover out? Why would you be curious about her, Ed? Unlike Lucy from the dog family, Janica is clearly from the cat family. So who's going to be facing me in this duel? She will face Ed Rothdaler in this duel. Taylor needs to focus on his abilities. He must pay attention to this fight. Right now, it matters not who his opponent is. In a world beyond the screen, he lived in Fort Impressions. He completed that miserable journey countless times, only for vain bad endings to give way to true ones that left long-lasting. Single route. He's already chosen and difficult. Among countless lives there was that a clear path. Lucy Merrill's voice cuts through, offering encouragement to Ed Rothdaler as she calls out a question about another student's presence. Where is Lucy? She's needed for your practice match, Taylor. First, your duel is about to begin. Taylor will finish it quickly. Versus Lucy Merrill, Taylor McClaw. The challenge is set. The protagonist, born to be a swordsman in his world, takes up the blade for the first time. He cuts through Lucy with lightning-quick magic, surprising even himself. Taylor is caught off guard, struggling to block Lucy's spell. Surprised, Taylor struggles to counter Lucy's spell as it narrowly misses him. Taylor's chances fade as Lucy's spell overpowers him, leaving him struggling to maintain his ground. Taylor's chances fade, his spells outmatched by Lucy's power. The honor of being the first to fall is upon him. Now, match. Okay, the countdown has ended. The battle begins. I go. The tension hangs thick in the air as Ed prepares to face his opponents. The tension builds as Ed steps into his starting position, facing the oncoming mercenaries. The mercenaries advance, their numbers overwhelming as the match starts. No wonder she was disowned. Her magic is nothing compared to this. Ed stands in silence, His shoulders slumped. The room's tension is palpable as Willian's voice echoes, unkind and absolute. They knew his limits, yet still doubted him. The room's silence spoke volumes. Even in the face of doubt, he refused to give up. That's lost hope. Can't do it. Right, man. You got this. The tension hangs thick, every eye on Ed as he prepares for whatever comes next. Lucy will channel her magic. Meryl. Lucy's determination shines through. What's happening now? Ed prepares, knowing Lucy will soon unleash her lightning spell. The tension mounts as Lucy prepares her lightning spell, and Ed tightens his resolve. Ed stands with a grim determination, his hands clasped tightly behind his back as he surveys the hall's defenses. Tension builds as Ed inspects the hall's defenses, his expression grim. But what kind of magic is this? Lucy Merrill's spellwork surpasses expectations. But wind magic. Lucy Merrill's victory is unexpected and surprising. Taylor looks uncertain, his expression a mix of surprise and apprehension. Tension builds as Taylor's uncertain expression hints at the stakes to come. Originally directs, emphasizing every word with deliberate precision. Tilly hears Victor's urgent shout, her heart racing with anticipation. Tension builds as Tilly turns, her steps quickening toward the hall. Lost. The question lingers, drawing tension in the air. Leave him alone. The situation is serious, and it's going to be a big problem. Can you give me the jerky now? It's a continuous magic item, protecting me from sudden attacks. Spirit automatically activates protection for the win. Due to Lucy coming to my side, Ed Rostaller is now two separate entities. The next combat training will be intense, hitting Merylder and Lucy against each other in a scenario that could shift the balance of power. Elias Cole must win. Princess Fonier's previous defeat taught him this much. Picking up the sword, Ed gains confidence in his abilities. Hey, Tilly, lost because of me. That in the end due to Ed Rothstaller's existence in Sylvania. Hey, your efforts will definitely bear fruit, Tilly. Just sit still, and don't worry about his meaning. Better to be safe than sorry. You did good, Tilly. Don't feel completely broken. Don't let it get to you, Tilly. The Academy will face challenges like this. You should be the one to face it, not me. Willian's determination shines through, though she knows Ed could use the support. Fulmir, God's blessing. Born with an innate insight, not everyone has such a gift. Insight and dark abyss. From within that turmoil, she developed this ability to sense threats. A life of royal lies and conspiracies taught her well. Ed looks at Willian with a mix of determination and uncertainty. He had no idea about her ability, but now he's confident in her strength. Ed looks straight ahead, his gaze unyielding but his expression strained. Willian watches him with a mix of concern and resolve. Ed's words carry weight, each one more persistent than the last. Willian watches him intently, her expression a mix of concern and determination. Ed Rothstaller's voice carries a weight of defiance. Willian watches him, her expression serious and unwavering. But is that really all he has to say? Don't let that earlier desperation get to you. It was a last resort. Something like this. Ed Rothstaller's determination is clear, though he knows it may not be enough. With this duel, Ed seeks a definitive end to the tension. Start with one, yet Ed's resolve is unshaken. This he exchanges everything, including his magic, while in combat. How will he react to wind and fire spells? Finale approaches as Ed prepares, his determination clear despite the uncertainty looming. The professor's warning lingers, tension building as Ed readies his sense. He's admitted defeat, but the question lingers: what now? Ed stammers, clearly taken aback by Tilly's. The water ball spell he cast was easily deflected. His opponent seems to have left him with no recourse but to admit defeat. You were really something to watch. That man, now that I think about it. After coming to this stage, he has nothing left, and the Academy knows it. Princess Fionir Elias Cole is no stranger to such duels, but this man has shown nothing but disrespect. Fionir's eyes remain steady, but caution lingers in her tone. The scenario demands careful navigation. Fionir's gaze shifts to Ed, her expression unreadable. Tiligo is clearly not who she expects. Fionir's eyes narrow, her tone sharp. Ed stands uneasily, unsure of her intentions. Ed stammers, clearly uncomfortable. Fionier's tone is sharp and unyielding. Professor Grimoire speaks with Ed, but her tone is sharp and critical. Ed struggles to keep up with her, clearly frustrated. Who are you to complicate my mind even more? Princess takes a deep breath, trying to calm herself down. There's no need for such dramatics. Breathe in and out. Calming herself, tension eases slightly. She pleads for him to forget, but he's not so easily dismissed. She seems conflicted, her eyes darting as she tries to reconcile past with present. Her tone is sharp yet hesitant, as if she's restraining herself from saying more. She's pushing her doubts aside, focusing on Ed. Her tone is firm but laced with concern. The reason you picked on Tilly is because you needed a scapegoat to be expelled. He hesitates, realizing his thoughts were premature. The accusation is heavy and unwelcome. Then, just what did you yell at her for? Lies are easier to believe when told with conviction. He insists on seeing through them, yet his own words betray him. He repeats his denial, each lie louder than the last, the truth simmering just beneath. But even as he insists on the truth, doubt lingers in his voice. Fine, the truth above all. Going public is my only hope, but as of now, I don't have evidence. You can go. You've been staring at me for a while, right? There's something urgent at the door from the start. Fionier finally reveals her stance, though hints have been dropping. She's already entangled in too many threads. Her addition could complicate things further. It might be a bit out of place, but you shouldn't let politics wear you out. Relax a bit. Should also look really important. This place isn't like the palace where you had to worry about everyone's lies. But that was the first time Fionier lived her life trying to see through everyone's lies at Sylvania Academy. She had seen through him, revealing his failures and wasted time. This was troublesome indeed. Tilly's determination wavers, but Ed presses on, his resolve unshaken. Oh, but what should I say? Don't come any closer. You are Ed Rothstaller, the ruffian with a troubled past. Aelertris continues her tirade, Ed Rothstaller's name a bitter reminder of her frustrations. Taller's frustration mounts as he speaks, his voice carrying a tone of weariness and resignation. You're still here in the school, despite everything. He has a fierce determination that refuses to waver no matter the opponent. In his eyes, a determination burns, a fierce willpower shines through, unyielding as he recalls his childhood friend and cheerleader, Aelertris. You can do it. Here do you get through it? Always been great. Don't be discouraged. This time too. You've, again and again. You're great with Ayler by your side. He has seen through it all, yet still stands firm. But right now, survival should be his only focus. The world demands nothing less. I'm relieved. He's back on track, not because of the story, but because survival is finally his top priority. That's all he needs to focus. The length of their time together still weighs on him. What's happening? He seems surprised by something, perhaps a spell or item. Its stat window flickers, signaling a critical moment approaches. Already, is it? That time. Originally, everyone was supposed to have witnessed this while in their seats at the Nail Building. Everyone's gaze shifts towards the Nail Building, tension building as they await the next move. Lortel's name and title are spoken, hinting at her importance. Ed shifts uneasily, sensing the gravity of this situation as the hall fills with tense anticipation. Momentum builds as attendees adjust their stances, preparing for the upcoming trials. Trials approaching. Spirit sorceress Janaka forms from her essence. Someone watches this scene with keen interest. Tensions mount as Janaka Failover prepares for an impending challenge. Janaka Failover steps confidently forward, her resolve unwavering. Whoa, Janaka, congrats. Janaka's the new Spirit Sorcerer champion. The other students watch with surprise and admiration. He patient HM, thanks aside, please. You even bad at. Pass by. Janaka's pride is on the line, the tension palpable among the sophomores. Janaka's victory hangs in the air. Her classmates watch with mixed emotions. Janaka victory brings mixed reactions among her classmates. Willeen watches closely, intrigued by the incident. She won't see her friend anymore, not at the academy. The head starts spinning with worries already after 2 weeks. She has a fishing net SDR convolving her studies and food worries for now. Ed mutters to himself, clearly distracted and preoccupied with something. His stats seem to be improving, but he doesn't fully understand why yet. Ed stammers, clearly flustered and embarrassed. Willian's expression shifts from concern to surprise as she processes his unexpected arrival. Ed hesitates, searching for words as Willian's expression remains puzzled and slightly amused. Ed looks uneasy, searching for a suitable response. Willian's expression remains curious and mildly amused. Ed appears visibly uneasy, his gaze shifting as he searches for a response to Willian's accusation. Willian's expression remains curious and slightly amused, hinting at an underlying tension that hasn't yet been resolved. Ed looks conflicted, his words faltering as he stammers out an apology to Willian. Willian's expression remains piercing and unyielding. Ed hesitates, choosing his words carefully. Willian's stern gaze pierces through him. Ed's voice trembles as he speaks, his words heavy with unspoken emotions. Willian listens intently, her expression unreadable. Ed's voice quivers, his words a mix of hurt and determination. Willian maintains her calm, challenging him with unyielding resolve. Ed defends Janica, denying any offense. Willian remains firm, unshaken by his protests, telling her not to come close, even if it offends him. Ed looks pained, Willian's words a source of rare comfort in his current predicament. The tension between them grows, Willian's reassurance barely a flicker in Ed's troubled mind. The next day brings serious trouble. Ed thinks grimly. For example, Ed reflects on his past as a failed swordsman, knowing he's in for more than just trouble. Tyler hesitates, realizing the severity of the situation. A year's fall echoes in the distance, a chilling reminder of danger. You'd grit your teeth and ignore me for how much she's burned to death. How long are you going to keep running? Ketchnell's only daughter, Lortel, isn't that obvious. Senior Ed's offer to Lortel seems calculated, aiming for a strategic alliance. Senior Ed's offer to Lortel suggests a hidden agenda, setting the stage for an uncertain alliance. Hidden heroine, unlike Fournier, Lortel is designated as a villain from the start. Her true colors were only revealed later at a crossroads. Senior Editor questions Lortel's true colors, revealing them only later at a crossroads. Lortel's plea for understanding falls on deaf ears. Senior Ed remains unconvinced. Senior Ed's expression remains stern, unyielding to Lortel's appeal for respect. Lortel's voice trembles slightly as she insists on being heard. Lortel laughs mockingly, Ed's silence only fueling her taunt. She argues that offering first is beneath him. Lortel smirks, challenging Ed to see if he can match her generosity. Does the great Lortel really need to stoop so low? For some 3 gold coins is a month's earnings, huh? She recognizes the value of her position, yet understands it may not be enough. She must build alliances to gain political leverage. Control of the Academy will be crucial in future conflicts. Sure, let's shake hands on that, at least for now. For people, a moment of clarity can crush their heart, but surprisingly, such predicaments are enough to make those who have faced poverty sell their last gold coin for chump change. Desperate families sell their last gold coin for chump change, barely enough to stave off ruin. That's sadly how it should have been. How amusing, indeed, such a predicament for those with wealth to face poverty. Though it is a shame, obtaining that might have made things easier for me, had I gotten that. Daniker's words dripped with sarcasm, hinting at a scenario too grim to contemplate. Oh my, Daniker, that, nighty, Senior Lortel Ketchum, clear-cut rejection. Didn't feel humiliated by Ed's pros and cons perfect for a businessman like you. Different with your interests in mind. Yet you never miss an opportunity. It awakened a fuss about her, drawing Janiker Failover into one of her people's matters, despite Janiker's spirit. There was no letting up, till the wound, though seemingly healed, comes with a steep price. Willian mentions she had to pay for it during a joint combat exercise, using forbidden intermediate magic. Well, how would it be, Senior Janiker? Unsure it'll be easier to manipulate her guilt. Janiker's spirit is similar. Talk with Ed went poorly. She heals quickly, but we shouldn't worry too much about it. Surely, they are discussing something personal, but what matters now is restraining their spirits. You see, Ed overhears snippets of conversation near the northern part of the forest where tensions simmer among students and staff. Janica seems conflicted, her words hesitant yet hopeful. Ed wonders if she might help, touched by her offer. She wonders if her offer of money will be enough, or if sincerity can truly be bought. Ed contemplates his words, feeling a mix of embarrassment and self-consciousness. Janica seems determined, though hesitant. Mortel's mention of high-ranked spirits adds urgency to their preparations. Sooner or later you get better, don't you? Despite being oblivious to the world's ways, you were pretty hurt the other day. She's a person who maintains her cheerful personality, despite everything. She looked strained, her determination clear despite the difficulty. Janica fell over as determined, though her resolve seems strained. Edge must be crucial, given her intense focus. When people expect good things, reality often falls short. It smells something must be nearby, but what? There she is at Roft. Balor's gaze locks onto someone familiar, tension building in his chest. Bellmeyer, the senior maid of Phyllis Hall who kicked him out. Ed's mind races with memories. Lady Janica talks a lot, but Ed barely hears her. His mind is elsewhere. Ed contemplates Belle's words, his resolve unwavering despite the doubt in her voice. Inside that basket must be the finest ingredients, prepared to perfection for the students. You don't come from the forest, Ed. That's high-grade respect. Let's see, the event needs to be so fine, using only the finest ingredients. Bellmeyer could provide valuable foraging information, down to every detail. Thanks, Ed. Hard to believe how much you've improved. How could you have managed this, working so hard for Phyllis Hall? About that becoming friends. You heard about Bellmeyer's mushrooms and herbs, right? Various edible berries too. The new product installation is nearly complete, ensuring a steady supply of meat and fish for their needs. Ed prepares 2 magic spells, fire magic and wind magic, setting ignition level to 0 and activating them. Herbal tea brewed from various herbs and mushrooms might help you survive longer. And yet, the sun has barely begun its descent. A proof of his work is that he's finished, for now. If I'm honest, a bit of fun with this, I have to admit I'm having it. Right up until now. No signs of danger approached. Ed's face contorts in agony, clearly struggling with unseen forces. Ed's voice trembles as he stumbles over his words, clearly struggling to maintain control. That just about killed me. Ed's voice wavers, hinting at the strain he endured. Lucy's name sparks a moment of confusion, as if a familiar face momentarily flashed in Ed's mind. That just about killed you. Belle and Meyer exchange wary glances, unsure who to trust more. She stands there, a mix of disbelief and concern on her face. Her tone suggests both shock and hidden fear. She stands firm, a mix of disbelief and concern etched on her face. Her clenched fist and tense grip hint at underlying tension. She hesitates, her voice barely above a whisper as she appeals for understanding, but Ed's actions speak louder than words. Miss Bellmeyer's voice trembles as she confronts Ed, her eyes wide with shock and disbelief. She's not all magic. I ran out of using any protective spells. Did you manage to protect yourself? Then this is for my destroyed house that you just ruined, Ed. And this is for Miss Bellmeyer. Viroso MOTHERLY Chinese at a Chinese letter. With his resources stretched thin, Ed plans to rebuild a sturdier house using real wood, prioritizing practical needs over luxuries. It's hard to balance practical needs with study time. Alker Islin's study has indeed taken precedence, stretching well beyond what was expected. Years have passed since their last visit, yet the motivation remains strong. As if she's using her eyes to plead me to tell. Your extremely familiar reaction, no surprise. As always, this doesn't go away. Ed sits quietly, his expression a mix of defiance and curiosity. Willeen watches him closely, her eyes sharp with interest. Willeen's gaze remains intense, Ed acknowledging her with a slight nod. The tension between them palpable. Ed thanks Willeen, his tone sincere. Willeen's expression remains unwavering as she watches him go. What in the world is this strange device? Senior's trust isn't easily earned. and Ed knows it. Ed's resolve hardens. His next move crucial for survival. The final chapter looms. Ed's voice steady but tense. Willing watches, her expression unyielding. Students whisper and huddle closer, tension building in the air. Students whisper and huddle closer, tension building in the air. Glaston, spirit, magic. In a book on summoning rune, higher strength, spirit of darkness. That's because darkness, add noose, many spirits. The one who our enemy is a high enough level to summon that. It's highly likely there's only one spirit connection. But it went berserk due to the level to summon it. Janny Carr, top student, steps forward with a serious expression. Time to face this challenge. Buy some time for the students. If Ayler is right, it's unfortunate but necessary. The barrier around the Year 1 center must be activated. Year 1 students need to evacuate. Combat faculty members are preparing to be summoned. More threats are expected. Year 1 students will soon face threats from outside. The Royal Guard and faculty are preparing for a confrontation. Year 1 students might face spirits as formidable as high-rank ones. Willain bets they could handle it. But not all will face high-rank spirits today. 2 high-rank spirits inside. But did she handle it on her own? She must harness immense power, yet doing so risks overwhelming her own control. The demons and sorcerers pose a formidable threat, their presence unsettling. Their control over spirits is both terrifying and crucial. Velosfer isn't the only option. But she remains the most remarkable student. Right now, their decision must be made. Right now, only one person can decide their course of action. Princess Fournier is requested to make a decision. Welaine waits for her response with bated breath. Through her mind, the guy remarks nonchalantly. Everyone waits for her decision. Tension building. Can it? Why not your burden, princess? Whatever heaviness you carry, mine is no lighter. Only those who have proven their ability will go. The teaching area is done with its current task, so we're here, but it's unlikely they'll join us. The only ones who can truly take any action are those in the middle of a strike. Audrey Hall and Potion Archives are in danger. There must be someone to help, even if they're unexpected. A friend of Ents is here, an apprentice librarian. Elker Island confirms she's an apprentice librarian, ready to help manage the class together. Elker confirms she must act quickly to rescue Jacker. The library seems far, adding urgency to their mission. Jix seems unsure, perhaps worried about the situation. The mention of a sophomore student librarian adds complexity to their plan. Ed stands defensively, his tone firm as he demands answers from someone unseen. Ed stands firm, his voice resolute as he addresses someone off-panel. The late-night study hall hums quietly in the background. Elker appears troubled, her tone hinting at recent tensions. Ed seems concerned but tries to downplay it. Ed looks surprised, his voice trembling slightly as he speaks. Jix Demet alone with Rothsteller. That shameless guy and his apprentice are stuck in the library. So even wait a minute. You have some faith in him, despite his reputation. The atmosphere grows tense as no one speaks, their silence heavy with unspoken accusations. Tension crackles in the air as Willaine's challenge hangs weightily between them. His resolve shatters, reflected in his strained cry. Of Elker's, if he touches so much as a hair. A pulp magazine ad looms, Ed's glare intense and challenging. He means business. Editing works tirelessly, ensuring every detail is perfect for the grand reveal. Judging from its size, it's clear this existence is far more than mere rags. The term rags to riches seems woefully inadequate to describe such a miraculous transformation. Got him. The victory is ours for now. A world of the day, a land of the empire, in the north of the grasslands, where even the voice of an empire can reach. He has to ensure it's still attached, checking his own neck for signs of failure. He had no idea about his family's expectations, abandoned by them before he could truly know their legacy. He had no idea how to return, learning survival skills and trade from corpses along the roadside. Heard rumors they eat human flesh, barbarians from the northern grasslands indeed. What's your name? He wonders if she knows his past, or if she sees him as just another abandoned nomad. He's not sure what to make of this wolf-like creature. He realized it was a wolf, walking on two legs. Jix pondered, his thoughts weaving through the harshness of his past. Jix's voice trembles with emotion as he speaks of his first true companion, the loneliness he endured before meeting someone who understood him. Elker and her father's warm welcome contrasts with Jix's solitary past, hinting at a transformative journey ahead. At some point, the harsh reality of life became a blur. A man appears, but if it was to protect her, the tension builds as Ed prepares for a looming threat, his focus unwavering. Ed stands with a grim determination, his back to Achilles' Hall, ready for whatever comes next. I would gladly become a beast again. He knew about Ross Taylor's indiscretions and insults. The accusation hangs heavy in the air, leaving Ed Rothsteller with no room to retreat. Who are you, Rothsteller? An unexpected visitor raises the stakes. Elker's sudden appearance shocks Rothsteller. He questions her presence, urgency evident in his voice. Are you okay? Kyak. Elker's concern lingers, but she finds him unresponsive. Thank God the relief is palpable, yet incomplete. Thank God the relief is incomplete. A fleeting moment before reality sets in once more. Blackout, these are its vision man to lift, yet they are placed around a fully grown Elker, as if trying to protect curtains to block the berserk spirit. It'd be hard for them. And stay here. When you wake up, don't panic and stay here. Stay calm. Ed, don't provoke the spirits at the entrance. Safety is your top priority until dawn. Elker's body shows signs of struggle, yet she remains protected. This is Elker's body despite being wounded. He didn't care for himself. Ed had gone to great lengths solely to protect Elker, despite his own wounds. But why would Ed Rothsteller, of all people, risk so much for Elker? Or seriously, I was so close, but now, what happened? Thankfully, it wasn't as bad as I expected. He does a little bit of strength training on a regular basis. The episode is progressing faster than anticipated. It seems Taylor has this under control. The summoning rune indicates the mercenaries are on their way. Better stay alert. Time is of the essence as mercenaries approach. Ed must stay vigilant and ready for action. Perfect my spirit connection and use this power so special as raising my spirit stats is close to impossible, but something is brewing. Willain seems uneasy, her tone suggesting more than meets the eye. Janiker's spirit connection works wonders, enhancing her abilities significantly. The speed of Janiker's progress is staggering, a testament to her dedication and the effectiveness of spirit magic. Spirit understanding LVI, close yet out of reach. Guess he couldn't look away even after seeing my state. Heart training, to lie for an answer, only the most naive would believe that. She truly understands now. The kind of person he has always been. His journey is far from over. Senior Ed truly owes you a big one. Forgot about it, Elkers? Definitely. At any cost, when the time comes, I'll repay this debt to you, so I complete enough light to make an appearance. Looking at the confirmed situation, you left everything behind to run here. Go and protect Elker's safety. Head to the student center immediately. That's your duty now. Taylor, go to the student center immediately. Why do you think so poorly of him? His compatibility with elements / is undeniable after all. Ed nods, accepting Willain's advice with a grim determination. The clock ticks down. He must prepare quickly. McLaw pauses, considering Ed's request. Silence stretches between them as McLaw evaluates. Why are Jix and Taylor not friends yet? McLaw wonders, the tension in the air palpable as they wait for an answer. Taylor and McLaw exchange glances, tension building as they ponder the implications of their earlier conversation. Taylor hesitates, his eyes flittering to McLaw as they consider their next move. To Tarkin, Ed acknowledges the challenge, his resolve hardening. The tension in the air grows as Ed prepares, knowing his moment is near. Ed takes a deep breath, his voice steady despite the delay. The Academy watches him closely. Forget it. Even with you lost regard, here we would have handled it together. Claire nods, determination in her voice as she reassures Ed. The pain in his leg subsides, but the tension remains palpable. Claire's order carries weight, leaving Ed and Lortel in silence. The future hangs uncertainly in the air. We don't let this opportunity slip through our fingers. Let's gather everyone and head to Tarkin immediately. Ed looks determined, but also tense. He addresses the raid team in 2 minutes. No time. Let's split up. The situation is urgent, and Ed has no choice but to act quickly. Ed takes charge, instructing the team to act quickly. Tension hangs thick as seconds tick by. Conditions for success outlined. Spirits to summon chosen. The final raid party draft looms ahead. Into 2. Let's split the raid party. Ed and Willing prepare for the confrontation with mercenaries. The raid party divides. Tension palpable as Ed and Willing prepare for conflict. You. Is a joke, hear him out first, please. Jenniker and Tarkin must face an overwhelming force. The fire spirit, Velosfer, has joined the battle. Jenniker and Tarkin discuss strategy, with Jenniker skeptical of luring the group into combat. Ed looks at Tarkin, considering the risk. This is a big gamble, he says. What if it fails? Lortel hesitates, considering the risk. You can only subdue Tarkin, she says, but who will take down Jenniker? Ed stands firm, his resolve unshaken despite the looming danger. Willing's plan seems risky, but he must face it head-on. Clevius declines with a sigh, his resolve wavering. Ed must face Tarkin alone. Sighing, Ed considers his options but finds none ideal. But how much time do we truly have? This is my order, as Phone will be part of the group that subdues Jenniker. At any cost, Ed Rothstaller must survive. Time is running out. How are we going to stall the Fire Lizard as our opponent? We'll definitely do it according to my plan. Clevius, the top student, will face his fears in combat, but his lack of confidence may hinder him. Does this brat really have a plan? His confidence is questionable. Tarkin's door must be lured open. Jenniker suggests they need to stay hidden behind the combat training grounds. But with the princess by his side, Ed feels a glimmer of resolve. I might even muster some courage. The tension builds as Ed and Willing prepare, knowing the battle is about to begin. Oh, how do I lure him? He's clearly flustered, his voice trembling as he repeats the accusation. On out, world. You're crazy. I hate you. Why are you doing this to me, bastards? Come on out. It's done. He might even be able to do it. Get out of here. Sacrifice Clevius. In the end, it's not a bad idea, but you won't be able to evade moral criticism. And also, student, the most important role of Tell will be yours. On Tarkin, training grounds outside combat entry path, a critical hit secures the subduing group's charge. Because you're in, there's no turning back. Well, I don't think you should jump to conclusions about him just yet. Everyone will hesitate and doubt it. But you're good at this, despite how he looks. Tension builds as Ed prepares, knowing full well what lies ahead. What are you doing? Magic. So that's to me, huh? I blew up Nail Hall's come to think of it. During combat training, why he left this intermediate rank item here with forbidden sealing spells. Ed Rothstaller shrugs. Nonchalant as always, the entry path is confirmed. What's next? He wonders aloud. Let this slide. Ed won't go easy on them. Save me. He can't just kill you this time. No escape. Ed stands firm, his resolve unshaken despite the odds. Willing's voice carries a sharp edge of accusation. Lortel nods, determination clear in her voice. Ed clenches his fists, ready to face whatever comes next. Without elemental slashes, how will he break through Tarkin's shell? The odds seem stacked against him. There's no one in the raid party strong enough to break through Tarkin's shell. What we need is overwhelming firepower, but who has it? The situation grows more dire with each passing moment. The list of enemies grows, casting a shadow over Student Placer. Conditions for success outlined, yet Adele remains asleep in an unexpected location. She's napping here, in the middle of the rooftop. This can't be right. Jenniker wasn't here. Valmire was in good shape, but irritated by it. So Lucy runs away, using up her magic to sleep until now. She had to be excluded from all her magic. She doesn't have any beef jerky, but she smells something overpowered. It was probably a tool in the game to exclude her from all her magic. Beating a flaming fire lizard isn't the time to be picky. Tensions rise as Willian's warnings resonate, and Ed prepares for the impending confrontation. Ed struggles to keep his composure, his voice wavering slightly despite his attempts to remain calm. Ed's resolve hardens, his eyes narrowing as he prepares for whatever comes next. The tension builds as Willian's tone grows more ominous, hinting at dire consequences to come. Tensions rise as Ed and Willian prepare for an impending conflict, their determination clear. This is the pivotal moment. Tarkin, a high-rank fire spirit, must be eliminated together. His tough shell is finally weakening. All this has led to this moment. Now that we've arrived, his defenses are crumbling. Even our attacks will leave significant damage behind. The last hit is hers. She can deal the final blow. Janica is proud to be her daughter, showing deep familial pride and support. Without hesitation, Ed prepares to face the mercenaries. Willian watches with a serious expression, knowing the stakes are high. Here, Janica, we're fortunate to have at least you. Here, everyone's counting on you. Janica, right? I should smile as always, greet them with a confident nod, welcoming them with a firm handshake. Ed exudes confidence despite the looming tension. Tension builds as Ed exchanges firm handshakes. Each moment a silent declaration of resolve. Tension crackles in the air as Ed and his companions prepare for an unknown challenge. The words hint at a hurried, strategic preparation, tension mounting as unknown forces approach. Fortunately, late either, I am not too. Lucy is nearby, rolling around with energy to spare. It would have been great if she'd finished things off earlier. Ed stands defiant, ice spears forming in his hands despite Willian's warning. The Academy watches, tense and ready for action. Willian's voice carries urgency as she pleads with Ed to reconsider. The Academy members watch, tension palpable. Willian pleads with Ed to take responsibility, her voice firm yet desperate. Ed's resolve hardens, a grim determination crossing his face. Willian's voice carries a note of desperation as she presses Ed to see the stakes clearly, while Ed's hardened expression betrays his growing resolve. Ed's tone is firm, leaving no room for doubt. Willian's expression conveys a mixture of relief and concern as she anticipates his decision. Ed's determination shines through his words, showing he values Willian above the princess. Willian's expression betrays a mixture of hope and worry as she listens. Ed's resolve hardens, his decision clear despite the risks. Willian watches, her hope tinged with a growing sense of peril. At the end of our ropes the sky, and they're both, despite that, completely frightened. I understand Clebius, the professor's warning lingers, leaving Ed with no choice but to face the mercenaries head-on. Not yet, I have to get closer. Ed thought grimly. What in the world is that? The hell is this? Man, good, right. That's what the Glastons expected. Right hand, that means timing is in Teller's party. The last phase must have entered. Means things are going well as planned. But anyone's eye would catch. Now, yet amid such turmoil, Ed prepares for his next move. Wattel operates with precision and foresight, ensuring nothing slips through the cracks. The same goes for me as well. Preparations are meticulous, leaving no room for error. Thousands of times this spell, hundreds and thousands, the odds are ever in their favor now. The tension builds as Willian prepares her next move, eyes fixed on Ed's determined stance. Willian's focused determination intensifies, the atmosphere charged with impending conflict. Ed recites spirit magic repeatedly, his voice growing more determined with each word. His proficiency in spirit magic visibly increases. That Taylor, you can now make a contract with a spirit. Slot has been unlocked. The screen flickers, revealing an unlocked contract slot, hinting at a powerful ally to come. Ed prepares his next move, knowing mercenaries are closing in. Ed checks his stats, a sense of unease growing as he prepares for the impending conflict. The tension builds as Ed examines his stats, a grim determination setting in. He indeed is the protagonist, yet his stats reveal vulnerabilities. His stats revealed his weaknesses, but he still prepared for the coming battle. The tension builds as preparations for the impending battle continue, leaving nothing to chance. So, it's over. The stakes are high, and no one can afford to make a mistake. Their lives hold weight, he reflects, acknowledging the serious risk involved. Senior Willian's tone is sharp, challenging Ed's assertion about their cowardice. K-E-L-E-N Mortel approaches Ed with a sly grin, clearly expecting something in return. Ed looks taken aback, clearly not expecting a favor in return. Willian smirks, her grin challenging him to respond. Ed hesitates, clearly uncomfortable with the direction of the conversation. Willian's smirk widens, sensing his reluctance but pushing ahead anyway. Ed clenches his fists, clearly unhappy with Willian's comment. Willian smirks, pressing her advantage. It was a debt. Despite all that, a debt is still a debt. Exactly the same in the game. Taylor thinks, feeling the weight of it. Thank him. You, dead Taylor, don't need to show respect to someone like you. Clebius continues to mock Ed. Sure, he's got the upper hand. Ed remains silent, his expression grim. Ed's voice is weary. His recommendation for himself and Glaskin carries a heavy Tarkin Council and Ed Rothtaler. His name is tied to significant achievements. Elvira questions Ed's judgment, suggesting he give credit where due. Ed defends himself, reminding everyone of his senior status and achievements. Professor Grimoire considers Ed's contributions, feeling a mix of warmth and fuzzy emotions. However, she reminds herself to maintain distance from the main characters to avoid affecting the storyline. Ed Rothstaller continues to make his case, determined to prove his worth once more. Taylor's resolve shines through, bolstered by Ayler and Fonier's support. Her destiny as a monarch is ever clearer. Clebius's confidence grows, while Jigs finds his path amidst civilization's noise. Elvira cross-examines her life with Lurtel, questioning every coin and moment for strength and purpose. It's because I knew that. Preparations for confrontation loom, tension building as strategies are finalized. Tension crackles in the air, the atmosphere on edge as preparations reach their climax. I had to come here, because no matter how I thought about it, success of the protagonist, backstage, he had to stay. It feels like something's about to break. Ed pondered Janiker's room, his expression troubled. Why did Janiker keep it so empty? Each item on the desk seemed to mock her emptiness, symbolizing gratitude yet lacking space for anything genuine. Janiker's misery weighed heavily, her shoulders visibly tense as she struggled to find a place for the countless gifts in her room. In a fairy tale where misfortune seems to fall, Janiker's determination shines through her obsession with preparing for the impending danger. That was unnecessary. There's no need to overthink it. The Losfer exploited that sincerity, making Janiker go berserk with her determination. However, this scenario was supposed to be a month later. Why did it shift? Taylor wonders aloud, the tension palpable. Taylor contemplates, the forest's peacefulness masking his growing unease. Who would expect me to find such a cozy spot? She's hiding somewhere, but who would have thought to nap in such a vulnerable spot? Why would you expect me to find you here? Just stay inside. Because you were the last one to see Janiker before she went missing. Now everyone's counting on you. It feels as if the future is uncertain. In the end, Ed must rely on someone to keep pressure off Janiker. Everyone is giving her space, yet he fears she might fail again. She trained tirelessly, yet the spirit resisted her summons. Her efforts seemed in vain. Janiker mustered a smile. Though her journey was fraught with challenges, her friends and teachers expected more from her. Paradoxically, I can't tell how comforting these words would be to her. You've worked hard, atop the stage, where everyone can see. Praise continues to pour, though it feels hollow. On stage, Ed's confidence remains brittle. Ed steps off stage right, his presence commanding but uncertain. The others move forward with purpose. The completion of the first act truly hits home. He had nothing left, and they knew it. Spirit magic revealed its depths, spirit understanding at level 1 finally completing the observation. Wind spirits low rank but intrigued watch over you. Merelder's interest is clear, hinting at her potential threat or alliance. However, The committee trial is underway. Janiker's punishment for her mistakes is clear. She will willingly accept the end of her disciplinary period. Fonier's support is unwavering, yet Janiker faces trial for attempted murder. The committee's scrutiny is intense. She testified that Janiker Lortel had come forward to address the loss, but was overpowered by Valosfer's strength, did not resist. The Eld Merchant Association will compensate for restoration funds, though with a conditional clause. Schools and supplies will be distributed at reduced custom fees under this contract. The stat window flickers with numbers, showing disqualification and suspension. Decorations of glory are taken back, benefits revoked. Revoked. Expulsion. The weight of these words hung heavy in the air, leaving no room for hope. She must be under a lot of stress. Thank God it could have been worse. We've got to step up, the pressure's on. Clara's warning echoes, emphasizing the seriousness of the situation. Anise is ready, her stance firm and determined. Why do you keep saying liking and loving? It's just a friend, Janiker. This friend, you see the two of them like that? Why would you suddenly mention such a difference? Think there's such a thing between friends? Hey, silence follows. Willin watches him closely, waiting for more. Janiker stands there, looking puzzled and slightly wary as Ed approaches. Ha ha, for you. And that same dream I prepared friends for over and over again. What friends? Her mind blankly staring at his face. Sudden realization dawns, yet she couldn't recall anything. She waves goodbye, her tone playful yet final. Janiker's eyes shift, considering Ed's words thoughtfully. The room remains silent, thick with unspoken questions. Clara acknowledges Ed's point, her tone softening slightly but still cautious. The atmosphere in the room remains tense, unspoken words hanging between them. She thanks Ed for his advice, determination clear in her voice as she prepares to face whatever challenges lie ahead. Anise accomplishes her goal, determination in her voice as she looks forward to the challenges ahead. Before this, Ed had been frantically saving money, his resolve unshaken. Ed examines his remaining gold coins, a look of relief on his face as he realizes Fonier's petition spared him financial troubles for now. Ed looks around, sensing Janiker's presence nearby but choosing to ignore it for now. Ed chuckles, and stumbles over his greeting. Janiker's presence looms heavy in the air. Ed's voice wavers, unsure of how to proceed. The difficulty level seemed kind of amazing in a way. Ed Rothstaller had to make sure Janiker was truthful about their situation. Finally, it's time to start building their fortification. That didn't stand out too much, choosing the location wisely to build the hut. Day 3 and Day 6 have passed since he started gathering wood, each day bringing him closer to his goal. Result card reveals high skulls, signaling progress. Ed pauses his work, pondering his next move. Day 18 has brought Ed closer to finishing his lumber work, but he hesitates, wary of facing Janiker's friends. Clara and Anise look on with clear disapproval, as if warning him off. Day 20 has arrived, marking a new phase for Ed. The vacation starts, but his focus remains on completing the hut. Willane's results have brought him attention, yet he wonders if his skills are truly enough to stand against those who threaten Achilles. Willain asks about his progress, seeking herbs to check a trap Ed set earlier. She tilted her head, curious. He had underestimated the collapse. The walls were unstable but manageable. Don't tell me its chicks came to help. But Janiker ran away at first sight. Ed looks over his shoulder, hesitating. Willain stands firm, hands on her hips. Ed hesitates, his expression a mix of determination and doubt. Willain's stance remains unwavering. Neither the flooring nor a single piece of furniture exists. The walls are attacked. There's nothing. If Ed locks it tight, they won't get in. But crude logs still cover the outer walls and ceiling. Insects might find their way inside. Ed and Lortel have created a crude shelter, but it's far from finished. The walls and ceiling are still unfinished, leaving them vulnerable. I have a home now, Ed thinks, though it's far from finished. The walls and ceiling are still exposed to the elements. Sketching and editing, Ed focuses intently on his work. Ed ponders his next steps. The walls of his new home nearly complete. He envisions additional security measures, preparing for unknown threats. Ed jumps awake, startling Lortel. Tower, this isn't a damn nap. Janica appears, startling Ed and Lortel. "Oh, hey, out here, how come you're all the way?" Shocked silence fills the air as Willain tries to process what she's hearing. Willain's expression shifts, a mix of surprise and curiosity evident as she processes Ed's revelations. Belle's curiosity is palpable as she looks around, wondering about Ed's creations. Willain's expression hints at both surprise and interest in what lies within the hut. Willain's curiosity is evident as she ponders Ed's creation, wondering about its craftsmanship and purpose. Ed hesitates, his response uncertain and hesitant. Willain's curiosity grows, eager to learn more about the hut. Ed stammers, clearly uncomfortable with his own admission. Willain's curiosity intensifies, waiting for more details. Ed shifts uncomfortably, running his hand over a slight bulge in his shirt where a hut is mentioned. Willain's gaze sharpens, waiting for more details. HM. Daily report suggests you interact closely with spirits. Ed, how exactly does that affect your living situation? Ed hesitates, then steps forward to inspect the humble log hut. Willain watches with a knowing smile. Yeah. This place is quite basic. Who would have thought you could create so much with so little? He owes his time, a debt significant enough to worry about. Back. Tuition. How will Princess Lortel even let me borrow so much money for the academy? The debt seems too heavy to bear. Cast. Isn't it a joke? You owe, or just don't think you can get away with that. Janica can't grasp how it's possible. Despite so many others pushing her down, someone still supports her with tuition fees. The weight of all that sincerity is overwhelming. All because she struggled in a single room, resolving to move into Achilles Hall with its state-of-art facilities. Yet, even this change might not fully erase her financial burdens. In the end, the vicious cycle still hasn't ended. Underlying issues persist, even with new surroundings. Spending the whole day in a prison for Janica won't solve any of her problems. Being looked at with envy won't change anything. She hesitates, then steps closer, offering a sincere invitation. He considers it, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. Yeah. That makes me really happy. When you feel overwhelmed, make sure to handle it. Ed considers Willain's offer, feeling a mix of gratitude and hesitation. Ed looks troubled, his expression a mix of concern and uncertainty. Approaching soon, the second semester marks a critical point. Sage-sealed grimoire, known for its powerful magic, will be a key factor in the upcoming conflict. This old book might hold more than meets the eye. As he spoke, the academy's halls seemed to reflect his bitter tone. But that won't happen. Thanks for the concern, but that won't happen either. Saying that regardless, Ed Rothstaller's determination shines through his words, unwavering in the face of doubt. The academy will see a different man today. Ma'am, Ed Rothstaller, the failed swordsman of Sylvania, is ready to prove himself. The honor students at Achilles Hall are almost guaranteed to have a hard time returning to school. Only a select few make it back on time, as per academy rules. The academy's perks meant nothing to those who struggled. Ed looks at his stat window, grimacing as he sees the deduction of points looming. Rain really hammers down, making the commute difficult, with students in advance, using the hall's reputation for inferiority. Discontentment was already through the roof. Willain's accusations cut deep, targeting the academy's reputation and manipulation of students. Lortel's support was clear, drawing closer through the rain. The deadline loomed, but the exception already set. Most students will fiercely defend their proposal, even if it means amplifying the controversy. The idea alone is enough to infuriate those opposed. Willain's voice carries through the hall, clear and firm. Achilles Hall's future hangs in the balance. Negotiations stall as the mercenaries grow bolder, their threats echoing through the hall. The academy's finances tremble under the strain of the Glaskin incident. Willain pauses, reflecting on the desperate times and the willingness of even the weakest to sacrifice themselves for a greater cause. The sage-sealed grimoire is vital, a heart that beats at the core of Sylvanian magic. The ragged clothes speak of a life on the fringes. In this shadowy sky, there is no light to be found. Too many lights, he muses, feeling relieved by the contrast. This unbelievable romance of learning in utter darkness is his new reality. The desk is littered with dirt and scraps, each a testament to hidden struggles. So I frantically search, even in Sylvania where brightness abounds, suspecting others while radiating distrust, desperately struggling to find someone who would acknowledge my disgust. The search never ends, even in the brightest lands. Mortel remains a dark curtain, obscuring the truth. Equality remains a distant goal, despite the passionate plea. Equality in treatment is a demand, not a request. Grades cannot determine worth. Chief Maid hesitates, then speaks up. This isn't just about grades. Calling him a loser, mocking Ed's efforts, Tote taunts with ease, dismissing Ed's role as a middle boss. The insult hits hard, building tension between them. He holds a single-use legendary grading magic tool, its power trembling in his grasp. His opponent, unyielding and mocking, remains calm despite the threat. Tension builds as Ed approaches the now open doors of Orpheus Hall, aware that confrontation is inevitable. What's happening at Orpheus Hall? The doors are open. Our voices must be heard. Let's make a subpar decent office on the 4th floor and take over. We're not just maintenance. We'll play a certain role once the students get through that announcement, asking for a lot, but it's our chance. That's right. So you're bought off who'd come after then to take on this role. He is to oversee the 4th floor, a task fraught with uncertainty. Editing the script, Ed questions his new role as a middle boss. Why him? He must explain why he became the middle boss of Act 2, setting the stage for what's to come. The text on the stat window reveals Ed's combat abilities, highlighting his novice status despite his privileged background. His speed and aim show potential but remain untested in battle. Ed Rothsballer forces himself to focus on his bow skills, determination clear in his expression. He knows every hunt is a test of willpower. More importantly, recent visits to the camp have shown no improvement in my bow skills. Hello. Visitors are becoming more frequent. Something a lot of people are noticing in the Northwoods. Anyhow, among the frequent visitors, one is an extraordinary genius mage. As Ed and Willain discuss, they seem eager to outsmart the mercenaries. Willain suggests a back door while Ed chuckles, hinting at his own sneaky plans. You have a glass chimney. Why not use it? Too many visitors can be a nuisance. How about making a back door? Elle steps forward, holding a tray with eggs. Tartar, eggs. These are for you. She smiles warmly, clearly proud of her gesture. Ed looks uncomfortable, shifting his gaze towards Belle's feet. Willain watches attentively, her expression supportive yet understanding. Janiker's words seem to resonate with a deeper meaning, making Willain curious and attentive. She seemed to anticipate my every move, almost too easily read. She seems to understand his thoughts before he speaks, hinting at an undercurrent of tension and unspoken judgments. She seemed surprised to see Ed, her tone betraying a mix of surprise and wariness. She pauses, her eyes narrowing as she recognizes him. She needs his help, and Orpheus Hall's future hangs in the balance. But this time, things are different. He doesn't want to get involved. Yet he can't reject her offer. She's probably trying to make a deal as long as it doesn't affect him directly. Why isn't it going as per the scenario? He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. The joke was on him. He should have been the victor. Ed struggles, his voice laced with anger and disbelief as he confronts his opponent. Ed's resolve hardens, signaling a final push in the impending confrontation. Because of her first time seeing something too hard to trust emotionally. Well, they get to use the door now. There's no guarantee they won't rat me out to the Academy's investigators. Besides me, who else would open it? Inferior students just need a way in, regardless of how much money they throw at it. Ed's tone shifts, growing more urgent and desperate as he speaks directly to someone unseen. He questions their trust, hinting at a hidden motive. Still, I don't think so. Gold conditions are non-negotiable. He must play his part in moderation. Willain insists on listening to her terms. Deal is on the table, but he warns against altering his story further. To set everything back where it belongs, he declares firmly, Achilles Hall's occupation started before the fight over Sage-sealed grimoire began. Outbreak of the Achilles Hall incident looms closer. Lartel's plot twists academy life, forming a profitable group among students. Finances spiral into chaos as Lartel's scheme unfolds. The student association's potential grows in the shadows. He hesitates, looking towards the dorms, then back at Willain. The rain falls heavily, obscuring part of the scene. He hesitates, looking towards the dorms, then back at Willain with a mix of reluctance and determination. The rain falls heavily, obscuring part of the scene. Ed hesitates, then nods reluctantly. Willain watches him closely, her expression unwavering. Ed lists items, clearly reluctant but determined. Willain observes quietly. Willain suggests bringing a specific item. Ed agrees hesitantly. Willain speaks of Lucy's past, hinting at her extraordinary abilities and the price she paid for them. Willain observes Lucy, noting her tendency to drift away on rainy days. Despite the many years that have passed, she wonders if Lucy can truly be reached or if she is forever bound by her own resolve. Danica wonders about Lucy's current location, curious but not surprised by her reclusive nature. Elsie hasn't been seen outside her room for days. Could you check on her? Could you come to the Rose Garden around 9 p.m. tomorrow? Willain's request carries urgency. Oh, the Rose Garden tomorrow. Willain's tone hints at something significant to come. He hesitates, searching for words. His gaze wanders, unable to meet hers directly. She watches him go, a mix of hope and unease in her eyes. Around the start of the semester, the sky turned sunny after a long rainy day. Silence follows his departure, heavy with unspoken words. The long vacation is coming to an end, signaling the return to Achilles Hall and its uncertain future. The time is 9 p.m. and Ed contemplates his looming execution as the Achilles Hall incident approaches its outbreak. He should avoid reacting emotionally, yet anger simmers beneath his surface. The air feels charged, anticipation building. Momentum builds as Willain prepares for the impending conflict, her resolve unshaken. What about the other mates? Willain seems firm, her focus unwavering as she prepares for the upcoming confrontation. There are important mateys gathering in the meeting room, prepared to discuss blocking the mercenaries' advance. Oh, thank you for your efforts. The preparations are all done. Achilles Hall's occupation discussed here sets the stage for impending action. Here it goes. The tension thickens as preparations reach their climax. The tension in the air is palpable as preparations reach their peak. Willain's voice carries authority as she demands equality, addressing even those deemed inferior. The gravity of her plea hangs in the air. The doors of Achilles Hall stand open, ready to welcome all students, regardless of status. Who/U 2048 What's going on? Let's go in. Achilles Hall's doors are open. Think sport off one Lartel so you're the... Ed stammers, clearly uncomfortable and seeking to assert himself. Ed's voice trembles as he asserts his position. The hall's openness is stark contrast to his disowned status. Ed's voice echoes with a mix of confidence and desperation as he accuses Willain. The tension palpable in his every word. Willain's tone remains firm, leaving no room for doubt. Ed stands resolute, his resolve as unyielding as his declaration. Is in Lartel's hands. The chief mate Alice controls the protection runes. Willain's judgment weighs heavily on Ed as he prepares for the confrontation. Activating the protection runes won't help, will they? As per the scenario, everything is unfolding just as planned. Oh my, Ed's arrival is quite a spectacle, as expected. It's much more dramatic than anticipated. It was to you, to the stage. Will come YP a good idea to leave this? He complains about the rain, clearly frustrated by his soggy socks and current predicament. Lartel's expression is steely as she questions Ed, building tension with her unspoken expectations. Ed and Lartel exchange sharp words, their conversation tense and fraught with unspoken meanings. Have you ever felt so alone, yet surrounded by foes? She remains unfazed by his admission, maintaining a stern gaze. She spares him no mercy, her tone cold and unyielding. He understands the stakes are high, feeling the weight of her words. He knows his choices have consequences, but he must believe in himself despite the doubts. That is how she knows it. He murmurs, Wartel got the name better than anyone. The accusation lingers, cut in deep. And, like me, could you bring her down to that level? So, she ends up looking just like everyone else, almost as if to escape her own loneliness. She's bound by it. People find themselves in similar struggles, regardless of their status. Wartel's words press heavily, demanding accountability. People must seek their own redemption, not rely on others. But of course that person is not me, and stands firm, his resolve unshaken. She insists on her equality, Ed's response firm and unyielding. Tensions rise as preparations for the confrontation intensify, mirroring Ed's unyielding resolve. Inferior students, now Wartel will plan going forward. Willian's defense spells will intensify, and command of the rooms is being handed over. Willian packed with defense protection for Phillies Hall's final stage. Ed mutters to himself, planning his strategy. Willian prepares for a fierce battle. Ed clenches his fists, determination hardening his resolve. Willian stands firm, ready for whatever comes next. Rose garden path lights flicker in the night, guiding an unfamiliar carriage. Why is a carriage here late at night? It looks important. Note passed to Ed. Right. He had nothing left and the academy knew it. Willian's words hung in the air, unspoken but clear. Doubt clouds her face. Though she tries to hide it, she had expected more from him. She ponders deeply, her mind racing with thoughts of Ed's recent actions and their implications. She sighs, the weight of his disownment and the sudden company lingering heavily. She waits, her resolve unshaken despite his disownment. Cosmos wonders if her choice of hairpin truly matters in this moment. She would still wait, it might be okay. Cosmos' choice could make a difference. Are you sure? Going in there is a right decision, isn't it? Do you really think it's worth risking everything? The situation is dire. Taylor, hurry and find a way in. She's going in there. Despite warnings, can't ignore it any longer. Enough chatter. She is making a move. Better to stop her now. Tensions simmer as Willian's determination to protect her students escalates, leaving little room for compromise. She stands firm, her resolve unwavering despite the tension. Ed Roththaler hesitates, surprised by this sudden confrontation. Why here? Are you in here? There are students who have already swarmed. Ed stands with his back to a disheveled cabinet, hinting at hidden turmoil. Willian seems taken aback, her expression a mix of surprise and determination. She seems uncertain, her apology trailing off as she struggles to find the right words. She laughs, her voice mocking his limited magic abilities. He can only use basic spells, she taunts, referencing a rumor from a fellow teacher. She mentions a skilled mage who can hold his own against a swordsman. Hinting at future battles, he acknowledges their preparation, emphasizing the students' capabilities. He questions why he, a Roththaler, is being treated this way. His abilities are on full display, yet his standing remains uncertain. He has no choice but to speak up. Willian's eyes narrow, her stance firm as she waits for Ed to respond. Willian's determination hardens, her eyes fixed on Ed with unwavering resolve. Basic spell, that magic. It looks like he's a mage. Range scuffle. The best at close, so he'll probably target Taylor since he's... The tension builds as mercenaries position themselves around the Phillies Hall, their presence an unspoken threat. When the blade appears, a whirl of spinning air slicing through the air. Tensions rise as Ed stands ready, facing the approaching mercenaries. The noise grows louder, tension crackling in the air. What was that noise? Ayla, are they there? You okay? What's happening out there? Alvira stumbles, clearly shaken. Taylor rushes to her side, concern etched on his face. Alvira checks on Taylor, visibly shaken but managing a weak smile. Taylor rushes to her side, concern evident in his voice. Tension builds as Taylor looks around, unsure of what just happened. Her bag is missing, Ed realizes with a growing sense of unease. This? Huh, that means so you're really serious about something going on above? Huh? The floor above is not safe. Something serious is brewing. Tension builds as Ed and Willing prepare for an unknown threat. Ignition marks the start of a critical sequence. Tension builds as water flows, hinting at impending battle. Good water flowing, setting up a battlefield almost naturally. Dix, you were quick and precise. Ed Roththaler's judgment outshines many. Can't be leaving without this information. This isn't proficiency, it's high magic. The Academy's top student prepares for a critical confrontation. The stakes high despite the peaceful setting. The Academy's top student, Willing, asserts her position with confidence, emphasizing the importance of alchemy and combat skills for the upcoming conflict. Willing insists on preparation, noting that even a genius student like Ed needs practical combat tools. Don't you think this guy has something figured out? He seems to have spotted something valuable, but is he too late? If that were it, this guy is just lucky. He wouldn't have stopped there. Tension builds as Ed considers his next move, knowing Willing watches closely. He clenches his fist, determination burning in his eyes. He focuses intently, muttering to himself as he prepares a powerful spell. Out. To put the fire spell to extinguish flames. Ed clenches his fists, his resolve hardening as he prepares for the confrontation ahead. Ed stands firm, the weight of his impending battle clear in his stance. The stakes are clear. Ed must prove himself, even as his opponents close in. Ayer's abilities are a mixed bag, though her combat skills and magical theory knowledge could prove valuable. Taylor, you think you can get closer, rather even move. He knows he must act quickly, or his advantage will fade. He must act, or his chances slip away. Right, I like that. Ed's determination shines through, bolstered by a newfound resolve. Elvira must be someone important, given the sudden urgency in Ed's voice. Oh my, our time apart was not long, but I missed you so much. Tension builds as Willing's insistence on equality hangs in the air, unspoken yet felt. Willing's words loom, creating an unspoken tension in the air. But apply magic. He seems quite prepared for whatever comes next. Wait, you're still unprepared. Special chemical magic becomes a turfly flowers and gall mushrooms. Magic works by controlling the release of special chemical formulas, subtly altering outcomes. And from magic formulas, temporarily affects outcomes that subdue the production of... Do you know what that means, Mr. Mage? Mr. Mage struggles to maintain his composure, clearly frustrated by Ed's dismissive tone. Ed's defiance echoes through the hall, challenging Willing's stance on equality. His proclamation of being fine belies his growing anxiety. Tension crackles as Ed's declaration of being fine is met with disbelieving silence from his peers. The hall falls silent, each student's gaze sharp and unyielding. The hall's tension rivels, each student waiting for the inevitable. Oil/U 2048 smell will die. If a fire starts here, people will hurt. He has a single-use, legendary-grade magic tool in his hand, ready to act. The chemical reagent is already glowing with elemental energy. To open this window wide enough, there isn't any obvious threat. Yet the tension simmers. Roththaler's doubt lingers, questioning Ed's motives. The accusation hangs heavy in the air. Tension simmer as Ed realizes his plan is out. Ed's resolve falters. His plan now laid bare. Ed clutches a bow, surprised as he realizes his opponent is using magic. His determination hardens, ready to face whatever comes next. Ed's eyes lock on a single, glowing arrow mid-flight. His grip tightens on the bowstring, muscles tensing. He's not targeting me, is he? Ed's gaze shifts, uncertainty gripping him. Ayer can't be used right now. Even basic magic spells are out of question. The preparations for a confrontation grow more urgent, leaving no room for error. That was close but not quite there yet. The tension builds as preparations intensify for an impending confrontation. A magical engineering tool that can be used as a weapon. Willing's warning cuts through the tension as Ed realizes his mistake, his hand still on the hidden weapon. This noise already? Is it time for the confrontation? We're right now, the second floor boss. Act 2 final chapter. If we don't die, everything changes. Escaped final Acclebius Nautendale has arrived, ready to confront his nemesis. The tension between rival factions palpably hangs in the air, ready to explode. He's cornered. No way out. The tension is electric. Are you serious? This is a step too far. There's got to be a reason why you went so far with this, Mikey. And unnecessary. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. His stance was clear, yet he still sought to stop them. The chandelier loomed ominously above, catching his every move. This wasn't about overpowering. He wanted to play a different game. Even during the fight, he wasn't lax. Something was off. He's clearly annoyed, demanding she stop talking and leave him be. He looks torn, his expression a mix of frustration and unease. Why now? He wonders aloud, as if questioning both her and himself. Why did you let us go easy on us? Elvira, what do you mean by that? She demands an answer, her tone sharp and unyielding. The tension in the air is palpable. She paces restlessly, her frustration clear in each measured step. Thinking it over for the whole night, she pinches the permission flower pin anxiously. It might have been delusional to think of happy thoughts. Reality can be cruel at times. Imagination versus reality, how can one reconcile them? Covered in blood, after being attacked at the pavilion. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. The apology hung in the air, barely masking his unease. No matter how he tried to solve any problem, Ed Rothstaller couldn't escape his reputation. Help you, only after being stabbed in one's blind spot, hidden and unseen. Willing insists on equality, even for Ed. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. My clothes scare me so much it's ridiculous. Tally's expression shifts, a mixture of concern and determination. Students watch intently as Ed stands his ground. What are you guys curious about? Ed remains stoic, his eyes focused but wary. Inikar's voice brings a momentary pause, her tone calm yet firm. The tension in the hall grows as students prepare for an upcoming confrontation, each aware of the stakes. And his resolve faltering, listens to the dire warnings about an impending army. For Spirit Tally, Minute, and Army, we have let mid-level ug here. If you add attributes to runaway, and low-level just wait 1 minute/tease like the ghost spirits we can pass through except the obvious. There's no way that, weakened by the confrontation, Ed faces an opponent he cannot afford to underestimate. Since all top students are already in action, Tally must get out that way. The broken windows offer a quick exit, but reality is harsh for the second-year magic users. Elvira. Unusable. Random comics, right? But that's precious herbs. Tally already aware. Achilles Hall wasn't just a... Tally would not give up on her trial. Well, while you can, the Academy's scrutiny is relentless. Inikar will handle it, ensuring her safety above all. Evia with secrets, Ed chuckles darkly, eyeing the stairs. His mind races, formulating a plan on the fly. Take your reagents, Ed. Your body's juries are completely covered in inconsistency. What did you do to my back? The tension builds as Ed's allies prepare to face the mercenaries, their resolve unshaken by past events, and stammers in response, clearly caught off guard by the unexpected interruption. Willain remains calm, her tone firm yet understanding. Willain's voice holds a firm tone, leaving no room for Ed to protest as she outlines their plan of action. Ed hesitates, clearly uncomfortable with Willain's firm tone and directness. Ed stammers, clearly taken aback by Willain's unexpected touch. Willain's grip on his shoulder is firm, leaving no room for misunderstanding. Ed stammers, clearly shaken by Willain's touch. He struggles to find his voice, admitting he's at a loss. What hurry and go really he neutralized it. Ed, left there's maybe no much time. Why do you get hurt? There was a threat. I told you to come talk to me about it. Extremes of caution are wise. Trust him to hold back. For now. Rose Garden carriage. Ed sitting inside, looking out. But there was a golden crown on it, so quick that Ed couldn't see clearly. Tension builds as Achilles looks at Latel with intensity. Something unexpected must have happened, and Achilles Hall's involvement with Elt is far more complex than expected. Tension builds as Ed stands alone in the hallway, surrounded by the ominous silence that precedes a confrontation. Ed contemplates his new situation. The hallway echoing his thoughts, he wonders if this is indeed the last time he'll see Elris. Elris seems unimpressed, her words sharp and cutting. Lortel's scent lingers in the air, a subtle reminder of his past. Elris's voice carries weight, her tone leaving no room for argument. The academy hall echoes with the gravity of their words. Elris's tone remains firm, leaving no doubt about her expectations. Elris's declaration of gladness contrasts sharply with Lortel's skepticism, building tension between them. Elris's face hardens as she speaks of wasted expenses, hinting at hidden costs. She can relieve her loneliness for a single gold coin in the rush of merchants risking their lives or on a straw mat in the ghettos. However, another student is spread out in the corner. Stabbed to death. Management room or not, Ophelis Hall will be destroyed if she doesn't stab someone first. Lortel stands in a shadowed corner, clutching something hidden. The black curtain blocks her view of the outside world. Or so I'll have to stay here in the storage room, hidden from everyone. Just stay quiet and act like a good student. The situation outside is tense, but I can't let anyone know. MS. Lortel's words cut through Ed like a blade. A girl her age, thinking about love so naive. She speaks of love seeing through his facade, editing and directing. Her voice carries no mercy. The gloomy Clebius rates high. Yet it won't be easy. Kelly struggles, fighting against an overwhelming force. The maid's strength surprises even herself. Assigned maid was supposed to handle alone, but Alice's absence made it easier than expected. Still, she wasn't prepared for how smoothly it went. Ed looks at his stat window, noting the tough challenge ahead as he considers their next move. Ed's stat window hints at a dire situation ahead, showing his growing fatigue and the increasing difficulty of their challenge. He stumbles, clutching his side. His breath is labored, a mix of fear and pain. Willian's voice echoes through the hall, clear and resolute. Defense magic circles light up around her, creating a barrier against unseen threats. Is like a child. The students realize their situation is dire as the building shakes ominously. Where the building's shaking, hella the students' near collapse. The students channel their powers, each displaying unique magical abilities to escape the collapsing building. The situation grows dire as the building's stability wavers, threatening collapse. A virus mixture of reagents could still work, if carefully applied, but time is running out. This corridor will block all basic magic within. Willian stands firm, Ed's plea fallen on deaf ears. The Chinese letter, 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 Chinese letter. She shakes her head, clearly unyielding. He stands there, perplexed and at a loss for words. The tension in the air grows, as if waiting for the next move. Finally, some clarity in this chaotic dance of accusations and defenses. Ed's resolve hardens, mirroring the tension in the air. It's not a big deal. Open up again. If you keep pushing yourself like this, your wounds will. He's clearly exhausted, yet he pushes on, determination shining through his frustration. Ed sighs, his frustration barely contained as he speaks of appearances versus reality. The contrast hints at deeper secrets. Olden King Eltor narrowly, he'd be escorted by a grand fleet of over a dozen carriages. His discreet approach hints at hidden motives. Right now, he steps out of the carriage, a puzzled look on his face. Why is he here? Should he be at the academy? That person, why is he just getting out? It looks like the carriage has been there for quite a while now. Alice, the chief maid, speaks with Shinny, one of the orphans Alice was originally bought off by. Alice's trust in her seems unwavering, despite the doubts. But there's only one Lortel here. Could Alice be on someone else's side? Or is there more to her loyalty than meets the eye? Thaler's family involvement intensifies, complicating his role further. Janiker's expression is a mix of frustration and resignation. It seems he must now take on Lortel's role as well, adding another layer to his already complicated position. He hesitates, clearly uncomfortable with the request. The urgency in her tone is palpable. The urgency in her tone suggests Ed's response will be crucial to their plan. The tension builds as Ed contemplates the gravity of his new role. Lady Lortel's plot unfolds, her true intentions clear and dangerous. Lady Lortel's accusation cuts deep, leaving Ed in a precarious position. The truth of her betrayal is clear, but he must remain calm and strategic. Lady Lortel's offer comes with a heavy price, one Ed must consider carefully. Lady Lortel's offer hangs in the air. Ed's predicament clear. He must choose wisely, knowing the cost. The letter lists orphanages, hinting at a wider network of institutions involved. Tensions rise as each name could signify hidden agendas. Alice Allen Trust Chief made to make the right judgment. Willing's actions will be determined by her choices hereon. Mr. Elt will expect you to arrive level-headed. You are more than just a ruffian, though that look in your eyes suggests otherwise soon. That's different. You said you were taking revenge against the Golden King, right? The same goes for you two. Aren't all that different. Willing's determination lingers in the air, unresolved tension building between them. Chief Maid Alice rushes in, her face grim. The accusation is clear. Willing might be involved with the true culprit. Teller's voice cuts through the tension, warning of danger. She's holding someone hostage. Be careful. She's unharmed, but her statement is laced with accusation. Lortel looks shaken and confused. Quickly, we need to take Lortel's statement seriously. Willing's accusation carries weight. Lortel's expression is a mix of urgency and concern, her tone sharp as she questions Willing's interpretation. Elt is coming. She insists the plan will be complete. Elt himself will handle that man. He needs a safe place. But any official contact could betray him. Better to hide and use a pigeon for communication. Let's just move forward without dwelling on past betrayals. Getting my heart broken, he realizes his situation is dire and hopeless at Phyllis Hall. He knows he must act quickly. The clock is ticking. He must run now. The urgency clear in his voice. Elt must act quickly. Every second counts. Carrier pigeon will ensure his message reaches before it's too late. At the same time, the first floor main hall erupts in chaos. Whispers, are you an evacuee student? Quick, evacuate. Faculty members discuss safety protocols, ensuring no one is allowed inside the building for their own protection. Instructions are critical. There are 3 people to account for, and empty the seat for one who seeks to undermine Elt's position. Then there's Lortel, determined to see Elt ousted from power, using her to twist the narrative in their favor. She insists on using you, regardless of your background. The 5th floor beckons, filled with Lortel's presence and unknown dangers. She's counting on you, no matter your past. The 5th floor looms with Lortel's influence and hidden threats. She trusts them, despite their backgrounds. Whatever Elt has planned, he must handle the matter here. The situation is more complex than it seems. Keeps them out of events at Phyllis Hall as planned. Ed's words carry weight, each one a challenge to Willing's stance on equality. Willing remains steadfast, her tone unwavering. Ed's response is a mixture of surprise and resignation, acknowledging Willing's point with a single word. Ed looks puzzled, his brow furrowed as he considers Lortel's request to edit a sketch in color. Why are you still inside your room? Everything's a mess out here. It seems like you haven't cleaned up at all. The wall looks like it could fall at any moment. Ed sighs, clearly frustrated. Jenica nods, her expression unwavering. Ed vehemently denies any romance, emphasizing his resolve. Jenica thanks him with a supportive nod. Is that so? But why would you apologize to me? I'm sorry about that instant, but it was justified. Ed looks at Willing, his resolve firm but uncertain. Willing's expression is serious and unyielding. First I see, you're deserving, but how does the administration justify treating you with respect? Who? Lortel's connections? She must have a lot of clout. Did you expect me to fall for her adult charm? She stabs others in the back, just like everyone else. You'll receive gold coins, but no, she was born into privilege. More than being loyal to anyone, she takes advantage of their front. Her clear benefits are obvious. He had no choice but to accept her offer, though he knew better. However, this couldn't be right. That, I see doubling the offer, so what's the catch? My words aren't getting through to you. Are you trying to let him escape? The tension thickens, each word a knife slice in the silence. The accusation hangs heavy, Willian's tone leaving no room for misinterpretation. It's okay, Ed. Trust me. Got it. I'll repay. They're not just students. They're everything you've got to begin with. The situation is tense, with Ed's intentions clear but unspoken. Now and ask about the situation he should go meet Wartel. But the tension is palpable. He looks disheveled, clearly distressed by some recent events. He looks over his shoulder, a mix of urgency and fear in his eyes. Senor Kurita produced a giraffe green spell, signaling a plan. There's always a reason to run fast for goodwill and trust. Because he anticipates information by mistake, even Cheryl, a flirty receptionist at Alt Merchantry, becomes quite lively in front of Lortel. At least in Lortel's world, all goodwill comes with some hidden reason. It's my fault. Anyhow, you right. I don't think we have the time to go into detail about Alice betraying us. Janica fell over, grew up feeling she had to earn love and goodwill, treating others with that same mindset. She saw through his facade, recognizing his true nature that day. Her gaze held no pity, only a keen understanding of his struggle. She believed he could change, yet his actions spoke otherwise. He clung to his gloom even as she offered him light. He had nothing left, and Ophelius Hall knew it. Willian's voice carries authority, joined by Alice and the twins. Their unity strengthens Ed's resolve, though he remains wary. Ed looks at Willian, then back to his companions, nodding solemnly. Ed's gaze shifts from Willian to his companions, each word a challenge in itself. Did I ask for your judgment? Why do you assume I need your approval? You just stand there, offering nothing but questions. If Elt catches you, your life is forfeit. We need a plan first, any plan to escape this predicament. Tell me what's going on. Goodwill and trust are fragile. It must be how it should be. You don't trust them. Ed, your father's market prices' headquarters was planning to rig the market, if you don't see that reason. Ed looks taken aback, his gaze shifting between Willian and the stat window displaying their plan. The urgency in her voice is clear. Ed contemplates Willian's explanation, his expression growing more serious. He sees the stat window detailing their plan but remains skeptical. Ed examines the stat window, his expression hardening as he processes Willian's explanation. He questions the logic of artificially inflating prices. He calculates the potential profits, his expression growing more serious. The plan's complexity is evident in every word he utters. If merchants B and C sell the product, the trust founded on its scarcity would collapse instantly. A desperate must buy it all to keep prices up. Willian's eyes narrow, her tone sharp. Alt would struggle with this sudden financial hit. Grimoire's voice is firm, leaving no room for argument. You were going to use that chance, right? He hesitates, running through options. How can he act with only one item? It's his only chance. But the merchant's direct line is their last hope. He must send the message quickly. He must keep his father guessing, sending a message tonight to secure their plan. The pigeons could be watching, every second counting. Listen carefully. Lortel, from this point on, 2 bridges lead to the Arkan Mountains. If I were in Elt's place, I'd track you down from there. That path will definitely have eyes watching. Stand by, at the best, hidden spot and stay invisible. You must do your part. There's an incomplete hut in the forest outskirts of the Arkan Mountains. Talk to a horseman there and leave for 3 days. Yes, you'll send a simple message like sell right now. They will follow that lead to the Arkan Mountains quarters. Willian's voice carries a firm tone as she instructs Ed, ensuring he understands the urgency of his task. He must remain vigilant and hidden until the right moment to escape safely. Ed stammers, clearly caught off guard by Willian's sudden directive. He senses a twist brewing, unsure of how to respond. Ed stares, dumbfounded by Willian's unexpected proposal. His confusion is palpable, hinting at a surprising turn of events to come. Willian's plan sets the stage for a risky confrontation, with Ed's uncertainty palpable. Ed hesitates. Unsure of Willian's reasoning, he feels a sudden shift in their conversation, wondering why it matters now. Willian's insistence lingers, casting a shadow of unease over Ed's uncertain future. Ed's resolve falters, his future hanging in the balance. Ed's future hangs uncertain, the hall's resolve unyielding. It's so loud as if the last fight between Alice and Taylor and his friends. It's come in first floor, fight on the close as it an emergency signal. He believes this fight is real and imminent, yet hard to accept. It's his heartbeat pounding loudly, mirroring the tension building around them. Master Ed, you weren't expecting this, were you? The one coming out from somewhere unexpected. Made shinny, for the kind of assistant supervise this feels like more than a dishwashing task. Editing is done, but the process was painstaking. Originality and line art efforts have paid off. Phyllis Hall, a combat student with sword skills. She had access to defensive magic circles that rivaled those of professionals. That's the head-made Elris, nonetheless capable of intermediate magic. She could, but there was more to Elris than met the eye. Because, Tally, your luck has run out. This battle is about to begin. The tension builds as the stat window flickers, showing Ed's mana nearly depleted. I was almost out of mana. My powers waning rapidly. He had barely enough magic left to make a stand. However, his reserve was insufficient for even a basic defense. What? Shaney's first strike would be a stab between my lower abdomen and thigh. He already knew the pattern, yet his reaction speed was crucial. It was because he anticipated the attack, giving him the edge in this confrontation. At the stars, this ability share is a once-a-day privilege, granted to the twin sisters as a born blessing. Magic was a low-ranking skill, yet Kelly possessed it, a rare talent indeed. Tension builds as Ed's classmates gather, whispering among themselves. Tension crackles among the students, each whisper carrying the weight of impending conflict. Of bleeding, the only damage was a small amount, sophisticated as Kelly's. Janie's magic wasn't as effective. Cutscenes, the situation is about to get worse. That's right, the pressure builds, and Ed's resolve wavers just a bit. He had nothing left, and even a minute was too long to wait. The Academy's expectations were clear. Way, move, Elris will lose. Get out of my way. Elris is a mystery to you. What does she know that you don't? MS. Elris has suffered much, and her pain isn't easily measured. The tension between them grows, unresolved and heavy. Ed's voice trembles with barely contained anger. Do you have any idea how many? His eyes flash, challenging Willian to respond. MS. Elris had a personal situation that prevented her from going into depth about Sylvania's failures. He had connections and resources, but this job was beyond his reach. Made it to the Academy despite his financial struggles, his luck might run out soon. He sighs, clearly troubled by something he's heard. His frustration is palpable, yet he struggles to articulate exactly what upsets him. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it, but she didn't know any of the stories. She expected him to know stories he had never heard, leaving him speechless. This incident was indeed complex. The damages weighed heavily, but Elris's relief efforts seemed futile in comparison. Yet my life was supposed to be privileged and fulfilling. It was a stark reality, survival at stake. New skill gained. Indeed, vitality consumption temporarily allowed, pain endurance boosted, William's determination evident in every word. Luxury furnishings arranged haphazardly, hinting at a rushed setup. Her desk was covered in papers without a single error. El's headquarters are secured, but it will take at least 3 days for Lawtel to return. The homing pigeon flew through the rain, its message critical and urgent. He panted heavily, his body weary from past battles. The Academy's knowledge of his struggles was clear. Lawtel's demands have ended, but the wagon remains in motion, showing no signs of stopping. If all goes according to plan, Lawtel should be. Ed looks taken aback, his expression shifting from surprise to something harder to read. Willian's tone is unexpectedly soft, almost apologetic. Willian's words carry a weight that Ed can barely bear. Loretto's name, whispered with disdain, lingers in the air. Why would she sell out to Lartel? Willain values her integrity too much for that. She is a wicked person indeed. Willain would ensure her essence is taken away if given the chance. Her perfect crime will end immediately. He must prove his worth or face certain failure. The accusations cast a shadow over his resolve, leaving him with no choice but to fight harder. Hurt by the accusation, he clenches his fists, determination growing. We should start the campfire first, since it stopped raining. Sketcheye is editing line art for a novel chapter, warming up to continue where he left off. Senior Ed Coachman Calland promised he would try his best to buy some time. His willingness to risk his life is clear. Senior Ed hesitates, clearly unsure about Willain's plan. Willain remains firm, her confidence unshaken. The fact that you owe me a debt. Senior Ed's reaction is clear, but his words dismiss Lartel's offer. The 20 gold coins are a small token compared to what was at stake. No. Nothing much is on my mind right now. Do you still have something you want to take care of? Anne and Yennecar share a close bond, as Ed acknowledges her respect for his well-being. Yennecar's words about being a good person add weight to their relationship. Ed shakes his head, a faint smile on his lips as he looks towards Achilles Hall. That nice person at Achilles Hall simultaneously reassuring and tense. Rush footsteps echo through Achilles Hall. Mercenaries are reported, tension palpable. Huark, stop now, however. You can stop later if needed. Yennecar needs to deal with the mercenaries first. Senior Yennecar must decide. The battle intensifies, spirits rising. Casualties loom if left unchecked. Is something wrong? Are you angry about the situation? That night, Ed's uniform was a mess. He borrowed Ziggs to attend class. Struggling with the news, Willain and Lartel discuss the situation, their expressions serious. Elris watches, alert. The confrontation looms, unresolved yet imminent. He sighs heavily, his body aching from the day's events. The news is unwelcome and he must continue his work despite his fatigue. He contemplates his next move, his mind racing with possibilities and constraints. Ed contemplates his options, weighing the benefits of spiritual investment. He decides against unnecessary expenditures, mulling over the practicality of training in combat-focused magic engineering. The weather has gotten chillier, not all that much, but it's trying to help. She's resting in the cabin. But work still awaits him. The incident at Achilles Hall isn't over yet. She sighs. Frustrated, the negotiations with Alt Trading Company drag on, despite her efforts to secure a favorable outcome. Willain's voice carries a mix of warmth and authority, her trust in Ed unshaken despite his disavowed status. But for Lartel that feeling was more precious than gold. Up to anyone else, that was only natural for someone who had lived her entire life in this world, making me feel like I was snuggled in a fluffy bed. Otherwise Yennecar Palaver would see it as a natural and common thing. To her, giving up this one trust must have been so difficult. The only card left to play was dirty. Specialty, and that is my effective advantage. Spending 3 days together was such a massive and precious opportunity. QQ, do it my way. Coins are scarce, and a gold cabin won't dig itself. He hesitates, clearly uncomfortable with the idea of accepting help from his upperclassmen. Willain's insistence on equality seems to put him on the spot. It's so cringe. Lartel Calland, number of relationships, this is absurd. Can you move, or are you going to stand there all day? The best place, it's where the sun shines down with this girl. Lartel seems relieved to be in a familiar spot, though the mention of Lucy hints at ongoing tensions or concerns. He heaves a sigh, clearly weary but determined. There's still time to turn things around, though the situation feels dire. Senior Willain will announce the contest in 3 days. The cabin life is coming to an end, and excitement builds. Lartel's presence here seems to catch Willain off guard. The tension is palpable as they stand alone, each lost in their thoughts. Finally done. He rarely visited this place. Yet here he is. What a change. Into a brick, 5 tiny hearts symbolize effort and skill. The newly finished product hints at mastery, yet it remains imperfect, its joints still weak. Inside, the scent of progress lingers, unpolished but promising. Oh my, the smell is unique, Did you add Basil? Quite a feat, considering the production difficulty level. Bell gave him a unique scent this morning. He can't place it yet, but his senses are sharp. Senior Ed finishes his task, a satisfied look on his face. Willeen watches him carefully, her expression unreadable. Senior Ed nods, acknowledging Willeen's statement. Willeen continues, emphasizing the importance of thoroughness in their work, and perhaps some leftover magically constructed materials, or something more practical. Willeen continues to push for equality, showing no preference despite Ed's privileged background. He hesitates, aware of her expectations. Ed hesitates, then speaks up, his tone earnest yet uncertain. Willeen listens intently, her expression serious and expectant. Willeen's tone is earnest as she presses the matter further. Willeen presses on, her voice urgent and persistent. Ed listens intently, his expression a mix of frustration and resolve. The conversation hints at deeper issues within the Academy's daily life and training regimen. Did you hear that? It sounds like something's amiss. So, let's discuss the items needed. It seems you finished your discussion with more than enough to spare. Ed hesitates, clearly upset by Willeen's statement. Willeen, unfazed, waits for his response, the tension palpable. Ed clenches his fists, clearly angered by Willeen's challenge. Willeen remains calm, her tone unwavering. Didn't expect to see Lady Lortel this way. This allows me to start learning magic engineering. New head maid Belle Meyer arrives unexpectedly, disrupting the peace. This is a message from the novel's current chapter, bringing unfortunate news. Don't be shocked. But this is really top secret. Janika's shocked expression underscores the gravity of what she must keep secret. Even a hint could be disastrous. None other than Ed Rothstauler steps forward, surprising even himself. Such a ruffian. Yet she keeps mentioning Clara. Heckenlin pulls Lorette closer, suggesting a chance for both of them together. Ed watches Janika's reaction closely, noting her hesitation and uncertainty. Ed watches Janika, noting her discomfort with his sudden change in topic. He continues to mockingly suggest she might be dating him, though he makes no direct move or comment that would confirm it. Ed smiles smugly, clearly enjoying Janika's discomfort as he teases her further. Lady Belle approaches, her presence both regal and intimidating. The trembling kitten seems utterly lost. Lady Belle's serious tone suggests something important, but Ed looks confused and uncertain about what she means. Lady Lortel hands over a message, her tone apologetic. Ed looks puzzled and slightly uncomfortable. It's from Maid Alice, the former chief. Something important must be in that message. The flickering bonfire casts an uneven light, dancing shadows across the night. Ed looks at his uniform, clearly frustrated. Is it still repaired? Decent enough for a bell to wear? The carrier pigeon's message arrives, signaling the growing tension. This situation has escalated to a critical point. Alice's sleeve is missing something important. He doubts there's any hidden support from out, just more tricks to watch out for. Well, you think this is a choice? Alice took the side with whoever offered more support. You mean she's the mastermind behind all this? The list of orphanages grew, funded by her sacrifice. For her orphanage, she made a bet with the rest of her life on stake. Eventually, she could no longer work and took responsibility unwillingly. She seemed to have a calculating, unemotional nature. But even her followers only somewhat understood her dire situation. Not everyone grasped just how desperate she was. She's uncertain, but hopes Lortel might side with her. Believes sending this could regain trust, even if victory is uncertain. She must know him better than anyone, treating him as a fool. The mastermind behind this knows his weaknesses too well. There's no such thing as permanent enemies or allies. Yeah, I'll get back to work. Yet she looked genuinely concerned. You'll stop by the Merchant Association next week, right? To finalize the contract. Somewhat relieved. Ed takes a single-use legendary-grade magic tool from Willeen. Why are you thinking so much about taking it? To sometimes make moves that might cost us. Ed, puzzled by the tie and its importance, Willeen gently guiding him to notice the details around them. Willeen's voice carries a gentle yet insistent tone, guiding Ed to see beyond his initial confusion. He fidgets with his tie, clearly uncomfortable but trying to follow her lead. Ed's tie remains twisted, a physical manifestation of his internal turmoil. Ed's disheveled appearance suggests a confrontation with mercenaries looms closer, heightening the tension in the hall. Stay within your limits, Ed. Just thinking, weren't they? Makes me happy about them again. Definitely delicious. Those raspberries we ate in the evening were. He had pushed too hard, upsetting himself. Next time, he should pull back a little. Tension builds as he repeats the incantation, each syllable a struggle. As expected, when it comes to life, too involved with the main scenario. The sound of nothing goes according to plans. The scenario unfolds smoothly, yet a sense of discomfort persists. He has no greed, yet the realization feels reckless. His stats remind him he must stay focused. Just like last summer passed, and it's now fall, signaling a new chapter of challenges and uncertainties. The tension between Ed and his peers grows, evident from the aftermath of their last exchange. The foxy red-headed woman really knows how to get under his skin. Master Ed. Hearts are on the line here. Wait. What? That foxy redhead really knows how to intervene? What's going on here? Oh, your reaction was predictable. He was so cold to her. I was astonished by how clearly he rejected her advances. Question is, did she see through him completely? That fallen woman still tries to intervene even now. She sees him as just another man, one of two options, it seems, but regardless, he doesn't flinch. Relief washes over her. That fox shredhead still seeks to intervene, despite his stoic response. It's not a good idea to reject such opportunities so eagerly. Janiker's enthusiasm contrasts sharply with Ed's unyielding stance. She presses her point, while he remains firm. Ed's gaze hardens as he contemplates Janiker's playful suggestion, his resolve unwavering. Ed clenches his jaw, resisting Janiker's teasing suggestion, and winces as he tastes the concoction, clearly unimpressed. Willaine continues her culinary lecture, hinting at future challenges in Ed's cooking journey. The stat window reveals Ed's diverse skill set, emphasizing his craftsmanship and gathering abilities. His proficiency in these skills stands as a testament to his resourcefulness. Since school started, Ed must focus on raising just one stat to increase them evenly. But this drops efficiency. He needs to manage his time carefully between survival activities and academic progress. Is progress on his survival activities steady, or does he worry about not dedicating enough time? Ed reflects on Ayla's role, noting her absence from combat faculty. He wonders how long he can maintain his balance between survival activities and academic responsibilities. Ed watches Lortel, the benevolent princess, leaving early. He must observe her closely to avoid any potential clashes. Ed contemplates his plan, his resolve unwavering despite the time constraints. A faculty building looms ahead, signaling Ed's approach to his next challenge. He understands there's a final boss in this chapter, hinting at an intense confrontation ahead. Professor Glast. There's more to this than meets the eye. So what do you want to talk about? Ed Rosteller, don't be too surprised. This is top secret. He's surprised, yet intrigued by her revelation. Inikar's name drops unexpectedly. Inikar's name sparks surprise, hinting at her hidden connection. Lady Clara must be very fond of Ed for this. Lortel's name is brought up, signaling a significant event involving Ed. Inikar's involvement remains mysterious and provocative. Ed's confidence wavers, a stark contrast to his usual arrogance. Inikar's mocking tone cuts through, making the air tense. A feisty stray cat, sitting in front of a fish shop, suddenly yells, drawing attention from passers-by. They'll notice as the trembling kitten, her expression softening slightly. Lady Lortel looks expectantly at Ed, who appears hesitant to speak. He seems conflicted about conveying a message that could be important. Maid Elris hands a scroll to Ed. The message is from the former head of the academy. The firelight flickers, casting shadows across the room. Lucy returns with Ed, bringing a sense of relief and fatigue. All officers review the uniform, clearly unsatisfied with its condition. Ed's voice carries a tone of resignation as he continues. Even though the situation has progressed, the hall officers remain silent, their expressions serious. and thoughts linger on his uncertain future. Even though the situation has progressed, he looks down at his sleeve, concern not quite at Zero, who is aiming for this next head position, but now it seems trust in Ed might be the biggest choice yet. Elris's words carry weight, but Ed senses the headmate is holding back something significant. Elris's voice carries a weight of unspoken truths. The list she speaks of details her lifelong dedication. That plan faltered. Elris was cornered, blunt and unyielding. It seems no one truly understands her sacrifice. She had nothing left, and they knew it. The accusation landed without mercy. She must know it, yet still expects sympathy. Better than anyone else to be treated like a fool. So let's get along, Ed. There's no such thing as an eternal enemy. Willian hands Ed a document, her tone firm yet supportive. Ed looks at it with mixed emotions, relief starting to surface. Willian's tone remains steady, but Ed senses a change in the atmosphere. Ed's words seem uncertain, his tone cautious as he queries Willian. Willian, however, remains calm, her expression steady yet unyielding. Senior and Paul, extremes. Did you know? The essence of human relationships is often found in the small, everyday struggles. Maybe I should push a bit more. Crooked tie, why wear it so uncomfortably when no one sees? Aunt Sylvania's words seem to have struck a chord, making Ed uneasy as he simmers for an answer. The mention of raspberries for dinner lingers, hinting at a casual conversation overshadowed by underlying tension. Right, quite nice. Thinking of the raspberries we had for dinner again. Senior Willian asserts her authority, challenging Ed's behavior with clear intent. She continues to push back, her tone unwavering. He feels the tension building, knowing full well what's expected of him. He sighs heavily, knowing resistance is futile. Nonetheless, the Academy's expectations remain clear. The stars align as they wish, yet the world remains unpredictable. The crackling fire and chirping insects continue their unchanging dance. Watching the distant future unfold, Ed feels a mix of anxiety and determination as he plans his next move from the sidelines. His plan seems simple, yet he knows it won't be easy. The future is uncertain and full of challenges. And autumn's arrival marked another passing of summer, bringing a sense of change and uncertainty to Achilles' Hall. Preparations for confrontations simmer beneath the surface, tension building as plans come together. Master Ed's name whispers through the air, barely audible yet distinctly clear. The young woman's lips curve into a secretive smile as she speaks of something intensely personal and passionate. Kissed is great. You can't leave this alone. Youth, what are you talking about? She didn't let up, her tone piercingly cold. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it. Take this seriously, or it will be wasted. Yourself, don't listen. You are most charming when fresh. Ooh, it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring out something exciting and refreshing. He winces, responding to a suggestion with reluctance. Say Artilda, she coaxes, feeding him an unexpected treat. He squirms, clearly unprepared for whatever is about to enter his mouth. Willian's voice carries a firm, unyielding tone as she delves into the practical skills Ed must master. The mention of third-rank medical engineering items and spices hints at complex challenges ahead. The stat window reveals his skills, emphasizing balance and proficiency in various life skills. The time has nearly elapsed for today's session. Even survival activities must be managed efficiently. Four heroines are growing well, but he seems to be lagging behind. Princess Penier and Isla are ensuring Tally's safety as planned. The situation remains calm, but tension builds with Lortel nearby. Willian's voice carries a firm tone asserting her stance on equality. The situation remains tense, with Lortel looming nearby, ready for whatever comes next. Willian's voice resounds, firm and unyielding. The atmosphere thickens with tension. Right, because the final boss of Act 2 is... Achilles' Hall's curtain looms ominously, casting a shadow of tension over the scene. Last reviews edits, ensuring every detail is perfect for the novel chapters ahead. Lucy must be here somewhere. Her presence confirmed. Relief and TENSION Chinese letter. What talent. Detective work isn't exactly her forte, is it? What the hell is all of this for? And the plans for morning tomorrow were for early action. He has a list of tasks, but sleep seems far from his mind tonight. Lucy must be in grave danger. Ed hesitates, knowing he needs to act swiftly and quietly. What's this? Is it Lucy? Ed's heart races, his uncertainty palpable. Who are you? Of your ye I am the assistant professor. She went back inside. The question lingers, hanging in the air between them. The assistant professor's warning lingers, casting a tense shadow over Ed. As she steps forward, Ed watches her intently, tension building between them. Ed Rothdaler stands firm, defying mockery with resolve. Anyway, assistant. The place. Ed actually used things to say. Ed clenches his fists, visibly frustrated. Lucy's name echoes in the hall, but he doesn't look back. Ed glances at Willian, clearly skeptical but trying to understand her point. Willian continues, determined to justify her actions. He shifts uncomfortably, clearly caught in Willian's gaze. Definitely looks like a mastermind. She muses aloud, her tone skeptical yet curious. Unconscious while she was carrying Lucy, Ed had nothing left, and the academy knew it. Are you sure? His movements seemed forced, as if carrying someone unconscious required more effort than he let on. He hesitates, clearly unsure about his next move. Right, as well. These files were written in no time, though they detail his friend's attempts to get past him and stop Ed Taylor. Saint Alverier, born with the natural insight of a sword, not an alchemist. There's no way somebody as ordinary as him could stop those mercenaries. The tension mounts as Ed contemplates his next move, knowing the hall's safety hangs in the balance. Oh, the realization dawns on him, heavy and undeniable. The realization of his status as an outcast becomes clear, weighing heavily on him. The stat window glows with new information, hinting at Ed's growing crafting skills. The stat window illuminates, showcasing new crafting proficiency levels. Formula engraving for explosion magic is intricate and demanding. Success brings a sense of pride and accomplishment. Master Ed holds the newly crafted dagger, his expression one of pride and accomplishment. The engravings on it feel significant, each a testament to his recent success. Master Ed, holding the newly crafted dagger, looks proudly at Willian as she steps forward to sing a joyous song. Young Ed stammers, clearly embarrassed. Willian listens intently, her expression soft but serious. He has nothing left, and even a formal spirit master acknowledges it. Elevate their status. He's still seen as low rank, even with a spirit contract. With each word, the tension grows. Ed feels the weight of his disowned status. What's so great about contracting with you anyway? Lady Janiker's ambitions for success are clear, Ed. Your contract means more to her than you realize. Ed looks taken aback by Willian's statement, his expression a mix of surprise and defensiveness. Ed stammers, clearly uncomfortable with Willian's persistence. Willian continues, her tone unwavering. Ed hesitates, clearly at a loss for words. Willian's insistence continues without pause. Ed's voice trembles as he speaks, his words barely audible. Willian listens intently, her expression unwavering. Ed's voice is weak, but determined as he speaks of his new accommodations and the resources available to him. Willian listens intently, her expression serious. They've improved, but progress is slow. Each day brings some relief, yet forced learning continues. The urgency in her voice cuts through his daze. Snap out of it. Ed, what's wrong? Ed mutters to himself, clearly preoccupied, his focus on Janiker's health and work ethic hints at underlying stress. Ed clenches a letter, his expression grave. The flow of the story has already shifted, but he must verify its origins. Ed tightens his grip on the letter, a furrow forming between his brows. The negotiation for the sage-sealed grimoire is tense, involving the Academy and Elt. His family's involvement complicates matters further. Ed clenches his fists, eyes narrowing as he reads the letter. The negotiation's intensity is palpable, every word a step closer to conflict. Patriarch Krepin Rothstaller's plan is revealed, Ed's strength and determination evident in his stance. Ed walks away coolly, his resolve unshaken. If he gets the sage-sealed grimoire, he'll dust. Ed flips open an invitation, his expression unreadable. Suspicion flickers in his eyes as he considers its center. The letter is sealed, its sender unknown. Its fingers tremble slightly as he breaks the seal. Claire's calm tone contrasts with Principal Opal's desperation. The situation in Sylvania is dire, and yet there's an invitation to meet. Willian's tone is firm, leaving no room for argument. The Academy's secrets and financial situation are precarious. She insists. Willian's tone leaves no doubt, and must prove himself to participate in this negotiation, or risk being seen as a threat. Willian's tone conveys disdain, leaving no room for doubt about Ed's standing. Willian's tone sharpens, emphasizing her point with finality. Unexpected words from Lortel challenge Ed's preconceived notions. Kreppenroth's tone is defensive, her eyes narrowing as she counters Ed's accusation with conviction. Kreppenroth's voice firm, Ed counters with determination. The tension between them palpable. Kreppenroth's tone resolute, Ed Rothtaler resolve unshaken. The tension between them palpable. Why are you involving my father? It'd better not be for the Altmercanter's sake. You're my friend, aren't you? Willian's tone is firm, leaving no room for misinterpretation. The situation is delicate, and both parties are aware of the potential fallout. Willian's tone remains resolute, leaving no doubt about her stance. Ed hesitates, his thoughts clearly torn. Ed remains silent, his eyes flickering between Willian and the stat window on the table. Willian's stern gaze does not waver. Willian's tone remains firm as Ed continues to contemplate her offer, his expression a mix of doubt and resignation. Ed clenches his fists, the accusation in Willian's voice cut in deep. Ed's face twists in anger, the accusation clear. His voice laced with disdain, Ed challenges the speaker's motives, but leaves his own intentions unclear. Who has been deceiving and exploiting? The accusation lingers, unanswerable. Fonia insists on genuine advice, not half-hearted attempts at alliance. Sincere intentions or mere exploitation both hang in the balance. Because you might end up used, don't try half-assed attempts to use him in your plot. Claire's sudden appearance catches Ed off guard, causing confusion. The accusation of impudence hangs heavily in the air. Lortel's words carry a sharp edge, challenging Ed's perceptions of authority and privilege. What exactly is she trying to pull off here? Hey, things doing this way. Have you been turned out, Lortel? Long time no see. How is Princess Janica? Willian is offering Ed refreshments, specifically mentioning Pulenson and rosemary tea. She seems eager to accommodate him despite his past. Janica offers Ed a drink, her tone insistent and friendly. Ed accepts, grateful for the small gesture of hospitality. Janica's goods are clearly marked, yet Ed questions their value. The accusation is sharp, striking at Janica's pride. Ed's voice trembles, his eyes narrowing on Janica, and hesitates, then nods gratefully. Willian smiles briefly, her expression softening. Willian's tone sharpens, her gaze unyielding. Ed hesitates, then meets her challenge. Kreppen butts in, his tone firm. Willian's expression remains unyielding. Ed's resolve seems waver slightly. There's still 2 weeks for assorted fabrics and sewn cloth. Speaking of which, the cabin needs cleaning too. Lucy's jerky is also here. How's that, Ed? He looks surprised to see me here. Ed and someone are surprised to see each other, tension building in their exchanged exclamations. His resolute demeanor contrasts with the fishing scene, hinting at a hidden strength. His calmness while acknowledging the fish suggests preparedness for whatever comes next. Maybe his reputation was off. His insights seem to lighten him in some way, and Lortel's air focused on studies among students warns against hasty judgments. Claire, is this visit necessary? Ed needs to ensure his schedule for tomorrow. Will he make it on time, or will there be another last-minute change? Ed's expression hardens as he hesitates, clearly conflicted. Why does a royal command insist on his presence? He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. Status effect exhaustion. Please take adequate rest. Migraine, difficulty breathing. It's hard to breathe. His body feels heavy, weighed down by fatigue and exhaustion. She seems to be commenting on something salty, perhaps questioning its quality or taste. Willian's voice carries a mix of disappointment and mockery, directed at Ed's new companion, Lucy. Her tone suggests disbelief that Lucy could be anything but a lightweight, perhaps even human. This by, since Lucy is here, there must be something wrong with my usual looks. The blanket is new, did they replace it? Doesn't seem like a total physical breakdown yet. She looks bewildered, perhaps realizing how much she has slept. She contemplates his words. Still dazed from her long sleep, his voice echoes in her mind, questioning her overtraining and relentless focus. He had nothing left, and the academy knew it. Don't get sick. Getting sick is hard on people. Thank you. Lucy had watched over Glocked, a grandfather figure for her. It seems your nap was a deep one indeed. He carefully tended to the flames, ensuring they stayed contained yet sufficient for warmth. Ed's determination burns bright, though his resolve is thinning. Ed, how many times does this need to happen? Willane's voice carries a mix of exasperation and resolve. Perhaps it's unusual for civilization to be so open, though. It's too rigid a perspective, perhaps. Jenica is out, and Lortal had to delay business for attendance. That's because, I usually eat a lot. But this is... Clara handled it, though Lortal said absolutely better if someone like FLKA or... Not much they can do about it as usual. Elvira, that troublemaker Taylor and Clevinus quickly handled it. Mandrakes and other plants were involved, though rumors suggest the alchemy faculty mass-produced something unusual. Taylor confirms the rumor about the Academy's water system and a monster in the sewers, hinting at ongoing issues. Taylor's tone is tense as he questions the 10-day period, hinting at hidden complications. Wellane looks resolute, prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead. She insists on equality. Still tense about the 10-day gap, he has no choice but to prepare for negotiations. He looks weary, his voice strained as he responds to someone's question. He nods, his voice still strained as he agrees to send the message urgently. Ed hesitates, then nods firmly, his resolve clear despite the tension. The sage-sealed grimoire is a contentious issue, its involvement in the struggle clear. Lortal Ketchum representing Princess Fonir Cole, the leader of Alt Merchantry. The tension builds as preparations continue for an impending confrontation. Duke Rothialer's disapproving gaze meets Ed's defiant stare, tension building between them. Kreppen Rothstaller's smirk widens, sizing up Ed with a disinterest. Ed smiles warmly, his eyes meeting Willane's with genuine relief. Ed's words carry a weight of regret and frustration, echoing the formal disavowal he endured. Wellane listens with quiet understanding, her expression unwavering. Kreppen Rothstaller is introduced, reminding Ed of his disavowed lineage. The weight of family and identity hangs between them. Kreppen's presence reminds Ed of his disavowed status. Chinese letter, 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 Chinese letter. You are the proxy of the Alt Trading Company. It is an honor to be in your presence, Alt Ketchum. So you're the after all, we Alt Ketchum, the adventurous spirit. We go wherever the scent of money leads us. She eyes the sealed grimoire, contemplating its value, and the participant with the winning bid gets to buy it. Sylvania Academy's Sage Grimoire, publicly known to be invaluable. Princess Rachel will oversee the auction, ensuring a fair process. Opal Forsue's vice principal will assist in her wise plan. Right here, right now. Bids are soaring high. The highest bidder will claim Willane's grimoire, a treasure of Sylvania Academy. The bidding continues with coins changing hands swiftly. The grimoire's value is clear, yet its fate remains uncertain. Lortal's bid reflects her keen understanding of both magical and market values. The grimoire's intrinsic value is a subject she knows intimately. But something is amiss. The silence stretches as if waiting for a revelation. Rothstaller will take it home, Kreppen suggests, setting the stage for a potential disagreement. The auctioneer thanks Ed and Willane, confirming no further bids. The upper limit stands firm at 1,800 coins. Lortal's bid more than 1,800 coins. The auctioneer reveals a high transaction price. Willane's intention to make a profit is clear. Willane's voice rings out. 8,000 coins will be his. The auctioneer confirms. This bid amount will reveal the final result. Krippen's bid of 8,500 Flellan coins will decide the outcome. As expected, Rothstaller is no stranger to transactions for profit. Ketchen's bid surprises Lorette, who questions his motives. Welaine continues, her tone unwavering. The Academy will proceed as planned. Welaine's gaze remains firm, challenging Ed to respond. Her next move, he senses, will shape their future here. Princess Wartel's voice carries weight, demanding attention. Welaine's resolve shines through her steady gaze. Crepin's intentions are dark, even as she claims to act for justice. Welaine remains unwavering in her stance. Someone from behind claims they couldn't find evidence, even with their authority. They suspect Crepin Rothstaller must have ordered this. Speculation swirls despite his resolve to stop Crepin Rothstaller. Even after his family's dissolement, his determination remains unshaken. But the darkness of Crepin's intentions looms large. Princess Ed Rothstaller, even then, he fought against his family until the very end. The darkness of the Rothstaller family weighs heavily. Might have been a blessing to escape his family's expectations. Future contract details will determine his fate. He'd lose a significant amount if he sells now. Ed's declaration echoes in the hall, leaving no room for doubt. Welaine's tone remains unyielding, challenging his notion of worth. That deal is far too good to be true. Welaine's skepticism lingers, unspoken but clear. Her expression shifts, a mix of pity and disdain evident in her gaze. Lortel's relief is palpable as she acknowledges the outcome. Innocent Elker's letter confirms his suspicions, easing Lortel's tension slightly. Ed stirs, groggy and confused. Welaine's voice cuts through his daze, urgent and commanding. Janica seems flustered, her voice urgent yet calm. The mention of lunchtime suggests a sudden change in plans. Ed's lack of classes for the moment hints at unexpected developments. He even barged into the conference room being heartbroken, caused you a lot of trouble into the academy crying, running around rumors about you. Master Ed groans, clearly upset by something Janica said. The Academy's chatter fills the air as students pass by. Master Ed stammers, clearly thrown off by Janica's comment. The tension in his voice hints at an unspoken apology brewing. If he was unconscious for that long, not overreacting makes sense. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. Isn't this place better for both of us? They will somehow handle things at work. Just have faith in yourself. It wasn't long ago, with nothing but the forest shelter to call home, suddenly realized how far things had fallen. A lot has happened. Yet he still feels alone. Insects have become his constant companions. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. But you need to take this chance. Merelder, he really is right, think so too. Yeah. Clever to rely on a housewife's strategies. In that sense, you need to fix your outfit if you want to win a man. She can't come to your rescue this time. You're busy with negotiations. He contemplates her advice, acknowledging with a half-hearted nod. Ed looks unsure, his gaze shifting between Welaine and his reflection. He nods hesitantly, a mixture of skepticism and determination visible in his eyes. Welaine checks Ed's appearance, her tone serious yet encouraging. Janica's voice is firm, leaving no room for misunderstanding. Welaine listens intently, her expression serious. Janica's serious tone pierces through, leaving no doubt about her intent. Welaine listens intently, her expression unwavering. Merelder's howling echoes through the hall, filled with a mix of emotion and defiance. Welaine's expression remains firm, unyielding to Merelder's challenge. Welaine's voice carries conviction as she lays out her plan, Ed listening intently but still uncertain. Ed's expression shifts, confusion giving way to realization. He acknowledges Welaine's strategy with a nod, though his thoughts remain uncertain. Ed considers Welaine's strategy, finding it impressive yet uncertain. Ed checks his condition, but his concerns about feeling unwell overshadow any confidence in his current state. She notices his fatigue, concern evident in her voice. What are you planning? You back? Didn't go you look tired, Ed? What do you expect me to do in this mess? He's struggling, but won't admit it. Silence fills the room, heavy with unspoken tensions. It's not just you, Ed. Everyone is pushing hard, mentally and physically. Great wasn't it always easy, Ed, the hardest times are when someone quietly stays by your side. Even in tough situations, help can come from unexpected places. Hey, rest a bit. That far out. You don't need to go this far alone. Come on. You've got to acknowledge that you've been struggling. Admit it. You've had a hard time, Ed. A really hard time. Ed's voice trembles, revealing his struggle. Seriously, the gravity of the moment hangs between them. Unspoken yet palpable. Time drags on, each second heavier than the last. The tension grows, every second bringing them closer to confrontation. He's not taking this seriously at all. He has recovered, but his confidence is unmistakable. Rank has been earned through hard work and skill. Progress in magic engineering is substantial, despite the short time. Especially in magic chessboard development, progress has been remarkable, though incomplete. The limitations of general skills are clear. Advanced crafting skills offer greater versatility and affect core stats significantly. Ed looks conflicted, his gaze shifting between the text and Willain. She speaks with conviction about the value of advanced crafting skills. Tyler contemplates Willain's words, his expression a mix of skepticism and curiosity. Tyler's expression shifts, a mix of doubt and intrigue evident in his gaze. Willain continues, her tone firm yet sympathetic. Teller seems relieved, his tense expression softening. Willain notes his improved appearance with a warm nod. Oh my. Teller seems genuinely relieved to see normalcy again. Willain's warm nod suggests she notices his improved appearance, noting he looks healthy too. So busy with business. Yet he seems taken aback by Willain's casual approach. He needs help managing his affairs, looking for co-executive to handle internal and external management tasks. Imagine waking up and going to work side by side with a trading company only a wall apart. Oh dear. Why isn't this weird at all? We're almost co-executives now. It'd be like sharing personal assets. What? You don't even know anything about this? He must be considering, weighing his options against her words. After living a lifetime in a world where gold coins come to an end, where hundreds of people want to keep things secret, betrayal looms large, weighing heavily on his thoughts. What truly matters in a world of changing loyalties? Someday, a companion by your side will stand firm, no matter what. Even if everything you possess vanishes, they will remain with you. Merchants rise and fall, yet Achilles Hall endures, counting countless wealthy and great souls. Can't you just stay by my side, and no less? Lortel laughed her in, but held back. She can't quite believe it either. PFFT, it didn't work. Her kept tingling, the way your spells always do. I'm human too, but how was it? Almost had you. What a shame. But your spine, the middle, was too protective of me. What side of me you try to touch will waver. Usually when I show such a timid front, hearts are won over, but not today. It wasn't a total failure, but there was still room for improvement. Sylvania remains firm, her resolve unyielding. She intends to stay and fight until graduation. If he doesn't have a future, what then? Sooner or later, he'll need to decide. Will he use his free pass now or wait? Both choices come with their own uncertainties. It was great after so long, seeing you again. Ed thinks with a mix of relief and nostalgia. You belong to me now. What will happen in the future? Seeing him, she formulates her plan but hesitates to reveal it fully. Ed clutches a single gold coin, its value clear but insufficient for his intentions. Willain watches him warily, her tone hinting at unspoken conditions. Ed glances at his single gold coin, then hesitates. Willain watches him closely, waiting for his next move. Ed stumbles back, eyes wide with surprise and fear. Right, he should prepare a snack before he comes. Janica appears from behind a tree, her presence catching Ed off guard. Why did you come out of there? Young Master Ed's intake of meat is severely insufficient, and vegetables today is crucial for his health. Willain insists Ed needs better nutrition and hydration to survive. She sounds determined, though her tone suggests Ed might disagree. There are always those who misunderstand, like Tarkin. Ed clutches the warning letter. his expression grim. The Academy's concern lingers, unspoken. The Academy warns of imminent danger, while Princess Folnir's letter hints at a complex political situation. Professor Glass summoned Ed after the conference. His motives remain unclear. Unfortunately, he was unconscious during the last summoning. Why Glass needed to see him remains a mystery. 2's final scene. The content of Act 2 is about to unfold, hinting at significant changes ahead. Professor Glass' plan to revive Sylvania, the great sage with unmatched talent, involves distorting the laws of the world through a spectral magic. His sealed grimoire holds the key to completing this ambitious spell. Professor Glass' plan is clear, though his means are desperate. Ed steps in, his presence cutting through the chaos. Professor Glass' voice booms through the tower. "You think you can break in here?" The accusation lingers in the air as Ed stands firm, his resolve unwavering. His final words were the air hung heavy with anticipation. It begins with Aelor Tristaler. "Are you awake? The final battle of ACI 2 is approaching." Me, isn't it? Doesn't this make sense? The demon of the underground waterway is quite terrifying. Faulty earth magic triggers, sending shockwaves through the hall. Ed Rothsteller, "You're being way too casual about this kidnapping." Ed and his kidnapper both survived, a grim realization shared in silence. Lasting Quest War's final act begins now, a foreboding atmosphere settling over the hall. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. My original plan episode Roman 2 things haven't gone as expected. In just 10 days, significant progress has been made, but there's still much to do. Wasting time feels like a waste of magic potential. Wait a minute, his engineering stats are about to drastically improve. The hardest is among the 4 battle stages, the Glass Conquest War. Rene, the librarian, stands sternly, addressing Ed about the secret laboratory phase. Saint's form, spirit library is so strong that it's hard to clear without the sword. But what interests me most is the contents of that stage. And there are just from what, a dozen of them. It's full of valuable legendary .grade magic items, even 2 blueprints for. But it should be fine. Though it'll be dangerous. Willane's words carry weight, suggesting I should proceed with caution as classmates from different classes will be joining his. This year's intake brings a mix of talented students joining mid-semester, disrupting class stability. Willane's concern is palpable as she anticipates potential challenges. Professor Glass mentions Aelor's potential but questions if it will be enough to form Class A this semester. Ed looks puzzled, then determined, as if weighing his options. Willane's serious expression hints at a challenging discussion ahead. Ed considers Willane's words, his expression a mix of skepticism and determination. Willane's tone conveys a firm resolve to challenge traditional views. Ed's skepticism lingers, but Willane's determination is clear. Ed's skepticism is evident, but he acknowledges the Academy's criteria for Class A students are strict. Neri's name suggests a controversial figure in his past. But he couldn't deny the truth in her words. Neri's faith, despite everything, was unwavering. And eventually, Neri joined a monster raid, driven by her unshakable faith in him. The magic department knew it. Since then, his devotion to researching spectral magic earned him proof of talent. Professor Glass' enigmatic obsession with it became clearer. Professor Glass' past is not what it seems, Ed realizes. Professor Glass' name is linked to great magic. Ed notes, he must be researching Asplatel catching for his Class A magic. Actually, it's probably about bringing Grimoire into the lesson tomorrow. Grimoire is essential for the lesson tomorrow, despite his reservations. He thinks it's a shame it won't be related to Asp. Wellane insists on equality, but Ed doubts the usefulness of the sealed grimoire for tomorrow's ceremony. The Sage Sealed Grimoire's connection ceremony is about to start. When he's barging through, the core of the operation is to, and I'll pick up must-have items. The effects of these items dramatically increase skills. Mana and proficiency in all affinity items skyrocket. She will assist Taylor, hoping to be of some use despite the difficulty. The plan will be complete, marking the final phase of preparation. War begins on the day of the Sage Sealed Grimoire. Wellane seems reluctant, yet agrees to search with Ed despite their differences. Ed stands firm, his assistant professor's words hanging in the air. Claire visits Janiker's cabin. A recent memory shared between them. Glast calls for their search. Despite Willian's reluctance. Willian seems thoughtful, her tone wary yet curious. Ed's exhaustion is evident, his voice barely holding back frustration. "Why are you here?" His voice is strained, barely above a whisper. Professor Glast seems hesitant, her tone tense as she addresses Ayla. Ayla's presence here makes sense, given her past with Ed. The connection ceremony is about to begin, and tensions are high. Ayla's presence raises questions. Her kidnapping rumors adding to the tension. The connection ceremony starts tomorrow. But why was Ed called? Could it be a twist in the plans? No, these grimoires research records. Notes. There's nothing indicating a change in the future I know of. It's just this one connection to Ed Rothweiler, hinting at something significant yet unknown. She observed about me. Might have figured out what Professor Claire reported. The accusation about his past has left a heavy silence between them. The accusation hangs heavy, leaving Ed's resolve shaken. Glast. A dagger points to Professor Willing. Panic and desperation in his plea. Ed's expression hardens, resolve growing in the face of peril. Tension builds as Ed readies himself, knowing help is on the way but time is running short. Ed readies his stance, the stat window flickering with barely contained tension. Tension crackles in the air as mercenaries' footsteps grow louder, drawing closer to the hall. Mug clatters, catching everyone's attention in the tense hall. The stat window flickers, hinting at ongoing analysis. She continues to examine his stat window, her expression unreadable. The exchange is tense, each word carefully chosen. He senses the challenge in her words, the intent to uncover more. She has more to share. He senses but hesitates. Her tone is firm. He knows better than to interrupt. He seems wary, defensive. She presses on, unyielding. It's like getting a direct hit on my pride. She questions his resolve, setting the stage for a confrontation yet to come. She looks at him expectantly, ready for his response, and considers the offer, finding some merit in her proposal. Ed looks conflicted, his thoughts on the offer Professor Willing made and the academic success of his newfound friend. Exerts like these would be impossible in just one day. Thoroughly analyzing the opponent and using all available means. His expression, calm yet resolute, hints at her past battle won through sheer effort rather than natural talent. It reminds him of that memory again, of his father's challenge to prove himself through achievements. The daughter's words carry a weight of expectation and determination. Tension builds as Ed contemplates his next move, the weight of his father's expectations pressing down on him. Ed clenches his fist, a silent promise of retribution. Ed's frustration simmers, a silent storm brewing as he rushes toward Achilles' Hall. Ed's late running a bit, but his determination is clear. And so, my discovery felt undeserved. The title of Archmage as a beautiful woman traveled south still remains in my memory, passed away at her young age. My late master Sylvania, who accumulated magical truths over time. Old reflection yet, in this long life, the sorrow that gnawed at my heart remains only as an indeed full of ups and downs. Looking back now, those years my master accumulated over time. Longing pushes forward, urging him to face another challenge. There are times when truth must be shattered just to see Sylvania's principles in a new light. Regret lingers over what has passed. Sadly enough, those who have lost must become stronger. So be strong, Ed. The full stop of your life now rests on you. Lucy's name is spoken, a reference to someone or something significant. Magic Travelogue dedicates its final sentence to the southern continent. Even the pain of loss heals completely, leaving only temporary satisfaction can help her forget at longing. Is the satisfaction of a win so fleeting? The thing is there's more to this than meets the eye. The connection transfer ceremony looms, but Ed's disowned status casts a shadow. Trix Hall's main conference room buzzes with merchants and scholars, each eager to buy and sell. The ceremony for transferring connections draws closer. Only elite members among them. Attention was drawn to the leader of both groups gathered. Obol versus Lortel's heiress scrutinizes Ed with a critical eye, her expression unreadable, acting head out. She intends to assess his worth. To that person of the same age, he is distinct. Crepin Rothspaller came to find me after negotiating over the Sage's grimoire. His request for a purchase was serious, yet the amount seemed excessive. The coins, 12,000 in total, are substantial. This deal will stretch our resources thin. Still, it was Crepin's earnest request. Although rather unexpected, a mercenary group is heading here. But his words carried no weight. The mercenaries were coming, regardless. Preparations are complete. Mr. Obel pursues. Lortel steps forward, ready to sell Professor Grimoire's scroll. Ed clenches his fist, determination etched in his eyes as he gazes at the all-access pass. Ed stands before a closed door, the all-access pass in hand, his expression grim and resolved. The grimoire is within reach, its power about to be harnessed or sold. Ed's determination hardens his stance. The grimoire's glow intensifies, drawing closer to Ed's outstretched hand. The grimoire's light intensifies, casting shadows across Ophelia Hall. Access pass granted. Despite Ed's absence, the Academy moves forward without him. Ed Rothspaller stands before Professor Glass' secret laboratory, his presence unwelcome yet undeniable. The accusation lingers in the air, harsh and unyielding. She despises him, her hatred raw and clear. Quiet persists in the underground waterway. If you keep yelling, you might wake up whoever is sleeping down here. Professor Glass' aspectual magic is a double-edged sword, Ed realizes. Its importance is not lost on the researcher. Professor Glass' stern voice lingers, emphasizing every word. Ed clenches his fists, feeling the weight of her words. Without any hindrances there, the operation will be complete. She stands firm, her stance unwavering despite his warning. He inches closer, the tension palpable. He inches closer, his eyes narrowing. She clenches, her voice firm. He stands firm, defying her command to sit down. She raises an eyebrow, skepticism clear in her tone. He insists on explaining, but his tone suggests he doubts his own words will be believed. Willen's expression remains stern, showing she's not easily convinced. He doubts his apology will be believed, sensing skepticism from Willen. All right. Ed, are you racing with your pulse or hearing? Is there any sign of harm? Legs, arms, sense of smell, they are all functioning properly, right? You brat, detect you. That spirited did manage to send a message, though. Master Ed, the outside is dangerous. A spirit can send a message, though. It took me a while to avoid the monster's eyes. About 2 days, maybe more, in the system. Miss Janiker's angry face was clearly remembered, her cold fury still vivid. That's like a vixen merchant's troops on our trail. Wait here, he orders, amusement clear in his voice. Why you, researcher, keep quiet if you know what's good for you. Get out of here now or suffer the consequences. Willen continues to assert her stance. Her voice steady yet firm. Ed remains trapped, his frustration palpable. Willen's voice carries urgency. But Ed is still hesitant. The situation demands quick action. Ed's frustration is palpable. He didn't ask for this sudden responsibility. He's on edge, his patience thinning. Willen's demand for a straightforward answer adds to the tension. Willen's tone is firm, leaving no room for argument. The situation grows more perilous by the second. Willen's tone remains unyielding, leaving Ed no room to argue. Ed nods, conceding. Willen's stern gaze holds him in place. Willen's tone remains firm as she prepares Ed for whatever lies ahead. New twists inevitably await as Ed prepares for his next challenge. Enemies are marked, objectives clear. Lucy the Slothful leads the charge. Glass chase is about to begin. However, I can solve most problems by using information advantage. There are bound to be variables I can't handle on my own. But on my own, I can somehow manage. There are bound to be variables I can't handle. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it, deliberately trying to make a bad ending happen. But if handling quickly is difficult, a detour is possible. He has to prevent Lucy from reaching the hall. Taylor stammers, clearly shaken. His composure wavers as he looks around, searching for a sign of danger. Eiler pleads, her voice trembling. Please help me. We need to rescue. Phase 1 of the plan is clear. Glass will lead Taylor and his companions into a trap. Phase 1 of Glass's plan unfolds as he leads Ed and his companions deeper into the underground waterway. The path ahead seems treacherous, filled with hidden dangers. It's a relief to have fewer monsters, but the encounters are still confined to certain areas. The path ahead is less dangerous now, thanks to Glass's lead. The spirit library is in danger. He must act fast to prevent it. Rihanna stands guard, her presence unyielding. Rihanna's stern gaze holds the banshee in place, preventing it from entering the spirit library. The problem isn't Rihanna's skill, but ensuring Taylor gains necessary experience later. Enemies won't be easily defeated without him. Taylor's future challenges will be tougher without his participation. The Academy needs him to progress through them. Enemies gather, ready to test Taylor's resolve. Claire Elfin's cryptic warnings about hidden dangers in the underground waterway loom large. Rihanna selects the most expensive magical tool, a thunderclap generator for Taylor's route. She whispers, "This will be necessary. All right, Dim, I'll definitely come through when this is over." Next is the one-way light. Right now, the exit won't be in her line of sight. Move, time to act. An earthquake, something's amiss, and it isn't natural. Tension builds as Ed and Willing prepare for a confrontation, their resolve unshaken. Ed recoils in disgust, while Willing's expression remains stern and unyielding. Damn it, the 30 minutes before the earthquake are ticking away. The tension before the earthquake is palpable. 30 minutes until disaster strikes. Tension builds as Ed tightens his grip, preparing for the impending earthquake. Tensions simmer as Ed and Willing prepare for impending chaos. If this quiet deal hadn't been done so, even if this deal hadn't been made, Glass would still plan to steal the grimoire during Egg Gathering. The accusation hangs heavy in the air, leaving no room for denial. Wait, back. Well, but is it really possible Glass is planning to steal the grimoire and get away with it during a gathering of Sylvania personnel? This can't be happening. What do you know of the 3 major taboos? Now that the situation has turned out like this, can you tell me more about them? Professor Glass is proposing methods that go against established laws and taboos. Achilles Hall's core is at stake, and tension builds as the truth is revealed. Professor Glass's words shock Ortel. Boost stammers in response. Achilles Hall's future hangs in the balance as tensions rise. Professor Glass' skepticism cuts through Latel's confidence, leaving her speechless. The conversation hangs in an awkward silence as both await Neri's response. Professor Glass' tone is firm, leaving no room for doubt. Neri shifts uncomfortably, sensing the tension. My goodness, several students. Ed was seen fleeing towards the waterway minutes ago, chased by Professor Glass. He had stolen something from Willing's grimoire and now faces a confrontation. Ed Rothballer is identified as a second-year magic faculty student, despite his first-year status. Aelertris looks on with concern. Ed's worried friends and faculty peers discuss his sudden disappearance. And Master Grimoire promises to rescue Ed as the greatest mage can easily do so. Tension builds as others await news from the tremor's source. But so, the tremors and vibrations are coming from that direction. It's the most sensible thing to wait here for now. It's coming from beneath the waterway entrance. The underground is fraught with danger. Willing's eyes remain firm, her resolve unshaken as she waits for developments. Willing's expression remains stern as she questions Ed's intentions, her gaze unwavering. Willing's voice commands with authority as she instructs Ed to minimize something, her tone leaving no room for argument. Battle joins the Lortel Ketchel alchemy faculty. A combat alchemist stands ready, fist clenched. Dorothy's reputation precedes her, formidable prowess known to all. First-year students often seek her guidance. Dorothy believed she could stand out during her time here. Professor Glass, top of the alchemy faculty, recognized her talent. She insists on his participation, no matter his background. He hesitates but agrees to guard the entrance. Professor Willing's tone conveys firm resolve, leaving no room for argument. The tension builds as students split into groups, unsure of whom to trust. Time again, maybe not. Then left, is she like her up with Falk, right? Oh Janica failover, my, Janica. Sylvia's resolve shines through, ensuring Ed's safety at all costs, even if it means destroying the entire waterway. Excluding Lucy among top students, Janica's determination is clear, her concern for Ed evident as she urges him to stay strong. Janica's voice carries a hint of desperation as she presses her case, leaving Ed with no easy choice. Artel makes the most rational decisions, even if they hurt. Janica's lying in bed, asking when you will come, right to the camp to save Ed. But why are you telling me about Wartel, Willing? The concern for Ed's safety is unexpected. Janica's relief is palpable, but her questions hint at unresolved tension. Willing's concern lingers, leaving Ed's fate uncertain. Lortel's surprise is palpable, reflecting her unease at Ed's predicament. The urgency in her voice suggests the situation demands immediate action. She shrugs, unbothered by the commotion. He had always been so dramatic. Alone and unguarded, he wonders if this is his new reality. No more words needed. Everyone must follow their own way. You're right, Ed. So, there's no time for this. Please stay here. Okay, then I'll search the east side of the waterway to rescue Ed. Who's in danger? Ed's resolve hardens. His path clearly set despite the looming danger. The tension builds as allies prepare for Ed's rescue, each knowing the stakes are high. Ed will lead the rescue, confident and resolute. An earthquake rumbles, adding urgency to the situation. An earthquake shakes the hall, adding to the chaos. Who will be the first to respond? The hall's tremors grow more intense, raising alarms of impending danger. She contemplates, her expression tense. The situation seems worse than she anticipated. The situation grows more dire, with no sign of resolution. He had nothing left, and the Academy knew it. The Academy's warning hangs heavy in the air, unspoken but clear. Willing's voice carries a weight of conviction. Yet Ed senses her unease. The situation is indeed hard, but perhaps there's more to it than meets the eye. Willing's voice rings out, calling for a rare generation of students. The Academy's history is filled with tellers of greatness. There are countless students, like stars in the night sky, each with their own hopes and dreams. Expectations rest upon them heavily, but they must grow strong to face whatever challenges come. It feels like something is brewing, a warning that upholds the coming trials. You must prove your worth through intense trials. The students gather, tension palpable as they await their trials. The tension grows as students exchange wary glances, knowing their trials are imminent. You've got jerky, he teases, hoping for a response. He keeps asking, growing more persistent with each hey. The other person doesn't seem to be responding, leaving him wondering if he's talking to air. He hesitates, looking around as if expecting someone to appear. The situation is chaotic right now. Janica and Lortel should have arrived. So far, Taylor's growth is considering the underground waterway. It's still okay, but her skipping this scenario won't completely mess with the outcome. What's happening? I'd rather not deal with it directly. If Lucy meets Glass, a bad ending event will start. Ed looks determined, though uncertain. Willing's voice carries a mix of encouragement and reassurance. Lucy's plea echoes softly, seeking comfort in quiet assurance. Willing's voice, steady and supportive, urges Ed to believe in himself. Ed takes a deep breath, looking at Willing with resolve. Willing's words offer a faint hope but carry weight. All right, but I have a favor to ask. Now I'll get out of here by going in reverse, retrieving everything from the library. Janica and Lortel will need these items. He had nowhere left to go. Yet the Academy still held him in check. Oh no, his resolve hardened, refusing to back down. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it. Ignition signals a shift, a spark ready to ignite something significant. Proficiency has increased, a steady rise indicating growth and potential unleashed. Minor resonance flares, hinting at an elemental magic surge just beginning to manifest. I'm being bombed by the special ignition. The magic comes to life, ready for action. Glass acknowledged. A unique insight that Professor Janiker specializes in. The magic resonance around here is concealed, unlike her methods. Lortel realized there wasn't time for small talk. She felt a glimpse of pure intentions, genuinely wanting to help someone right now. She feels a deep resonance, her heart swelling with the same sense of connection she had before. My heartbeat races, a mix of anticipation and unease. Ed's presence is acknowledged, but there's a hint of tension in his greeting. He had nothing left and the Academy knew it. Perfect by myself. Formula. They're too heavy to carry. Timing. Help me with all of this. Every single one is advanced crafting. Ed hesitates, then nods towards a group of mercenaries approaching in the distance. This is somehow dangerous. Ed managed to escape, but the threat lingers. Janiker's words cut through Ed's thoughts. Failover, the proactive one, has been making progress without him. On that fateful day, Ed recalls setting the forest ablaze in his haste to return home. His breath comes out in puffs of smoke, a stark reminder of the peril he narrowly escaped. Just let me know where to pick them up. Ed hesitates, then pleads with Lortel. The tension is palpable as he struggles to maintain his composure. Now is the time to make a demand like this. Impossibly grateful, she insists he can trust her fully. Ed wonders if his newfound ally will truly stand by him. Ed's defiance is palpable, his voice tinged with sarcasm as he pushes back against Willing's insistence on equality. President Lortel's demand is bold, leaving Ed with no room to maneuver. Everyone. Problem. Guard down. Have a huge not. Let your guard down. Clebius hesitates, his voice trembling as he questions Ed's resolve. The gloom thickens, foreshadowing impending danger. Avira's determined tone contrasts with Ed's reluctant agreement, both aware of the looming danger. Jix pleads for Ed's assistance, hoping he'll reconsider his stance. Clebius hesitates, then backs away slowly. Ayler's warning is clear but faint. Aurel's eyes gleam with a mixture of anticipation and mockery, her tone dripping with sarcasm as she speaks. She senses an impending challenge, a force that won't be easily defeated. He stammers, clearly flustered and unsure. His words trail off, showing genuine confusion. He pleads for a chance, his desperation clear in every word. Oh, left, on left, right, or did we go too far to the right? This unforgettable feeling rationality eludes the paralyzed fear leading to misunderstandings. The learned fear is rising within him. There's a slim chance we can win but no guarantee of victory. She looks conflicted, her eyes darting between Ed and Professor Claire as if seeking validation. Her voice trembles with uncertainty, yet determination flickers in her gaze. Ayler's voice shakes as she pleads, her eyes wide with worry and resolve. Ed stands firm, his expression serious, ready to defend their cause. Ed's resolve hardens, his future hangs in the balance. Ed Rothdaller hurt. Are you? Ed Rothdaller's presence lingers in the air, a reminder of the tumultuous events to come. Ed's style of fighting is formidable. Archery and close combat alike, he held off 3 better opponents with just basic magic and a bit of Alvaran support. Ed's friends rally behind him, their determination clear. Janiker's words carry weight, hinting at her close call that had barely survived. Ed's chances of winning are slim beside her, yet he stands firm. Tensions simmer as Ed prepares, knowing his chances are precarious. Tensions mount as he prepares for the confrontation. Now it's time for us to play our roles, and I'll make sure you handle the scenario. The professor's tone leaves no room for error as Ed prepares for a critical task. The professor's stern voice commands Ed to act, leaving no doubt about the severity of his task. News just came in about Elt's involvement. Arkin Island, they say, will eventually blow up. The mercenaries hired by the Golden King are gearing up for a showdown. Last thoroughly defeated without even a chance to recover. Lortel knew Elt was vulnerable, yet he escaped in a different time and place. Quickly, have a third-rank magical engineering item ready. That place looks like a loophole we can exploit. We need to act now before it's too late. Might as well be something to my name. The future is uncertain, but knowledge of current scenarios can give an edge in survival. Glass' plan remains unchanged, though the battle is nearing its end. If Elt is the mid-boss, then I must have him in episode 2 as planned. Almost clear. Lamb's going to take down Elt. Onwards. The path is. Also, Taylor, ask Ayler for help. You rescue her. The detail is after. Mastering all the unique skills and techniques is crucial for his growth. That guy in the underground waterway. Then Taylor faced the final scenario. Exclamation. The Academy's trials loom. Painful and harsh. Willpower alone is not enough. Luck favors the bold. Or so they say, but in Ed's case, it may just be a matter of survival. You don't need me to make any grand cheers, he remarks dryly. The Academy's concerns are growing, preparing for a difficult confrontation. All right. He must position himself carefully. Company mercenaries have invaded. Wait to secure the trading loss from the cell. Sorry. Again, you will get hurt if you don't hurry, Janica. But we need to secure the trading company first. Ed hesitates, clearly unsure about something significant. Willine's concern is palpable, though she keeps her tone steady. Ed stammers, clearly shaken by the accusation. Willine's voice remains firm but concerned. Willine continues, her voice steady but laced with concern. Ed hesitates, clearly uneasy about the upcoming challenge. Janica will lead them, adding another variable to their plan. Ed should be resting. But being selfish in this situation is just him. Involving himself where he shouldn't is risky. Rest is not an option for him right now. The situation demands action. Not inaction. Isn't someone else's business, yet Laura tells him that the tension builds as Ed acknowledges the urgent situation. What do you mean by else's business? Hurry. Mr. Lortel, you two. We don't have time to argue. Coming up with a reason is always hard. No wonder. Problem 2, right? Because you're magical, yeah. So, it's with Lortel. Jeniker's words strike a chord. Ed agrees but keeps his doubts to himself. The hall's tension grows, palpable among the students. Chaos reigns as Ed contemplates his situation, realizing the severity of the moment without regard for seniority. Do you mean it? He shouldn't be so careless. Staff members hurry to open the doors, sensing the urgency in Ed's voice. You were expected. Faster than I anticipated. Father's documents, I taught you how to manage them, yet here we are. Right, however. Miss Lortel's threat lingers, and there's no time for excuses. Management must be secure, even if it means going through them one by one. It took a long time for Miss Lortel to believe him. A pity that only his confession remains as evidence. The accusation landed without mercy, leaving no room for denial. The accusation hangs heavy, Ed's expression turning to stone. But you, where do you think you're going? I figured you'd attack alone. But mercenaries into the Academy, don't you? Just like last time fled with the sage treasure. You really love bringing trouble to Achilles' Hall, Professor Grimoire, right? But you insist on comparisons, don't you? This time, it's different. They're the mercenaries, the continent's best. Finish them off quickly. He commands. Lives of others excluding Lortel, he adds with a glance. Ed clenches his fists, the weight of Lortel's fate pressing down on him. The tension in the hall grows, each second bringing the mercenaries closer to their target. The hall's tension thickens, each student's gaze fixed on the looming threat outside. Magic and defense are the hall's priorities as threats loom. Ed cautions his allies to be wary. Careful, he warns, implying a looming threat. Janica thanks Ed for coordinating their movements. Spirit sorcerers are definitely well coordinated, always a hassle. But last time, I told you different from that this time it is. Her sheet to use, it suppresses surrounding mana for 10 minutes, despite being a single-use legendary-grade magical engineering item. It costs dozens of gold coins, based on the magic restriction. Time to activate and preparations are crucial. And most importantly, we are at a numerical disadvantage during the time needed to activate it. The combat power of a veteran mercenary group is no small threat. He already knows our powers. How could they have possibly kept this secret? Out. You're underestimating us, With this item will turn the tide. How do you plan to deal with it now? It's at your disadvantage, isn't it? My life isn't it better than losing a third-rate villain who should have been eliminated early in this. He reflects on Alt, realizing his own significance in a world where even third-rate villains can cause ripples. Will this mid-boss find himself caught in the same butterfly effect? He killed Lortel's parents, a villain who exits the stage in the end and backstabbed by Lortel to achieve his glory and prosperity. Persistently blocking our path, he refuses to step aside. Just like me, he must survive, so he won't give in easily. His resolve is unwavering, no lie will sway him now. Lucy yawns, clearly uninterested. Ed's determination is evident in his stance, though she dismisses it with a casual shrug. God, are noisy, you people. The tension builds as Ed stands alone, knowing his allies are few and wary of his past. Lucy, the slothful, remains silent, her eyes fixed on Ed. The tension in the air thickens as she waits for his response.